Good evening, everybody. What is the date today? Oh, it is February the 9th. We are back. It is Scouching Live. Welcome. Obviously, I've got my Seattle Seahawks merch that I did not purchase yesterday or the day before. I have owned this for years, so I'm not just a bandwagoner. Go Seahawks, Super Bowl victory. Things are coming up all Millhouse. We got Seahawks pulling off the win over the Patriots last night, even though I know nothing about American football, except for how to score the game and such. I don't know who anyone is, but had some fun anyway. Bad Bunny halftime show was sick. Obviously getting a shout out, here in Canada, the greatest nation on the planet, felt pretty good. We're not going to, pay attention to the fact that every North and South American country got a shout out. Canada's the only one that matters. I also, speaking of things that matter, I'm brought to you. I have brought a friend tonight. AJ Jadero is here, our illustrious producer, hard at work. Been playing chess, been playing EU4.
Yes, definitely hard at work.
But also editing game tapes, and you've got a special one coming. I don't know if you want to share who it is, but you got a special one coming out because it's very topical considering the sporting event that everybody's paying attention to at the moment.
Yes, we have Olympian Albert Smits coming out for subscribers tomorrow and for everybody else on Wednesday.
Yes, Albert Smits, and you're going to want to watch it because he's a bit of a character, man. He turned out to be... he's an interesting fella in a good way, I think, and it's going to be a really good one. I mean, feel free to correct me.
He likes white girl music. He likes white girl music.
He does. He's big into the WGM, right? He's really into that stuff. But yeah, so that's really exciting as well. We've got video rooms coming out. We've done 3. Subscribers now have access to 4. I filmed the 5th today. So the first 3, thank you to everybody who's watched them and provided feedback or comments or whatever. It's always fun reading those and hearing from you. But yeah, they've turned out really well. I think they're going over well. The game tape's also doing pretty well. So we're gonna have a pretty steady stream of content from now until probably we're usually done the pyramids by September, right? So sometime in that range, we're gonna be chocked full of video content for all of you to watch and consume. So welcome to the show. AJ, also welcome to you as well.
Thank you.
How have you been? How are you holding up in this cold ass weather? Because
better now that I'm not doing overnights, but I'll soon be back on them.
Yeah.
I had to work the weekend of overnights, but luckily I took the Super Bowl off because I wanted to watch it. And I had 10 vacation days. So vacation day number 10, the Super Bowl. And go Hawks, go. They were my team when I was a kid because the Bills were so bad that I did not care for them. Right. And also, I really loved the color scheme of the Seahawks when I was a kid. And I liked them before they won the Super Bowl. So, yeah, now I'm just trying to justify why I am not a fake fan of this team. They're my second team now, and I'm happy to see that they won. So,
right.
Hell yeah.
I am strictly a fan just because of the fact that I went to Seattle once and loved it so much that I wanted to buy something that, and I was walking around the city and walked by the Seattle Seahawks official team store, and I just went, I think I'll pop in and see what I can find. And I saw the hat. And now I'm a fan. I'm officially a fan of the Seahawks. And until there's an NFL team in Toronto, I guess this is the way she's going to be.
I guess so.
But anywho, also just got to point out, last night I had an American broadcast of the game going. Some of those ads were nuts. There was a Dunkin' Donuts ad that I don't know if you saw, but it was literally all de-aged AI of Ben Affleck and all these other A-list actors, and they looked
really
the de-aging thing. It's pretty I feel like that's going to be a trend that goes away because it looked really awful, and it was very it turned me off pretty quick. But on the other hand, there was an ad last night that I noted that was pretty funny of Pepsi making fun of the couple that got caught cheating on the Coldplay concert thing, where it was two polar bears drinking a Pepsi and they got caught on camera, and obviously polar bears represent Coca-Cola, so they were cheating on Coca-Cola.
Awesome,
that was a pretty funny one. And And there was also little babies in space with Kinder Bueno chocolate bars, which was really, really fun. But yeah, there was a bit of AI slop last night. There was a Jurassic Park one where they had, it looked like Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum had been de-aged, but I don't know if Laura Dern just looks like awesome for her age, but like she did not look de-aged at all. So maybe I'm hoping that Laura Dern's people were like, you are not de-aging my face. I will be in the ad, but I will not condone. I don't know if it's one or the other, but like Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum definitely de-aged for like some Jurassic Park reboot fake thing. I forget what the ad was for. And anyway, interesting evening. With the changes in what is marketable to some people, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, just wanted to throw that out there, but also got to shout it out. It's Olympic season. I have been trying to pay as much attention as I possibly can. I watched some of the women's hockey today, which was really fun. Mm-hmm. Obviously a little bit of a blowout. The Canadian-Switzerland game was really close. I mean, a lot of their goals it wasn't really close. The shots were like ridiculous. But the Swiss goaltender, Maurer, I forget her first name. I feel bad now that I can't remember it. But Maurer was amazing. She saved, I think, 50 of 55 shots or something, and Canada only managed one goal at even strength on the Swiss in that game. So can't fault them for that, but they got blown out today by the US, so whatever. But shout out to Canadians winning 2 bronze medals so far. Valerie Malte, I saw this happen, the 3,000 meter speed skating race. Good for her. That was a fun time. The again, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but the Italian woman who won the gold medal, I didn't realize she had gone into retirement and come out of retirement because the Olympics were in Italy. So she went off and got pregnant, had a child, and like moved on with her life. And then once the Italian Olympics were announced this year, she got back into training, and now she's a gold medalist. And so pretty incredible story there. So I'm okay with that person winning the gold medal over a Canadian in the bronze spot. I'm cool with that. And Megan Oldham today, I think it was this morning, she pulled off a slope style skiing medal, which I have not laid eyes upon yet, but I would love to watch that because those are always a lot of fun. I watched some of the big air women's snowboarding today. There's a woman from Japan who I watched at the Pyeongchang Olympics and was like blown away by. Wait, no, was 2020? What was 2022? That wasn't South Korea. That was Beijing. Right.
Yep.
Yes, she was in Beijing. Layla Iwabuchi, I think her name is. Iwabuchi is her last name, but I think it's Layla. But she was something else. Took 2 falls today and didn't medal, but the one she stomped was pretty sick. And trust me, I snowboard, so I know what I'm talking about. But anyway, honestly, no NHL hockey to talk about, right? I mean, what do we even do on this show? Do we just
get out the EU4 stream?
Get out the EU4? Yeah. Do we break out the Jackbox and play with the audience and run the risk of getting deleted from the internet?
We could.
No, we're not doing that. But I will run through some of the guys that we've watched in the recent past. I can't remember the last person we left off with, but we'll start from the top here. I think we did go through these guys. Yeah, like Gleb Pugachev, Casey Mutrin. I did a whole run through of the first round for me. Gustav Carlson, Oliver Suvanto, Jack Hextall, Elton Hermanson, Gavin McKenna. We did a Gavin McKenna game. Ivar Stenberg, Viggo Bjork, Ty Lawrence. That was an NCAA game. Ryan Lynn, Malte Gustafsson, Albert Smits, William Håkansson, Noah Kazak. We've been busy. Tomas Horenko, Zach Olson of the Saskatoon Blades, Bek Sultan Makish, our Kazakh boy, Chase Reed, Musa Hackert, the best player to ever come out of Mali, I think. Ryan Rubrek, JC Lemieux. Took a look at re-entry Apo Katavisto, Samu Alalaure, Landon Nitsch, Mons Gudmundsson, Adam Novotny, Victor Plant, Axel Brongo Larson, Marcus Nordmark, and then today was Chase Harrington, Alessandro Diorio, Adam Nemec, Georgios Pantelis, Pearson Bouye, and Verti, the one and only Verti Svensk. Another game where Verti Svensk was playing on the wing, by the way. That's the second one that we've done now. So that's a little bizarre. But, maybe we've got our next two-way player here, right? We got a guy who may be able to play wing. I don't think he should be, but that's what he's doing in Liga this year, right? interesting stuff. So those are the guys I've been most familiar with over the last little while. We're going through all the motions right now, going through all the guys that are now maybe in that sort of mid-round range for me, and seeing if anything changes. But other than that, I mean, that's really what we've been doing, consuming a lot of Olympics and doing a lot of video rooms. So,
and recovering from terrible working hours.
Yes,
in my case.
Right. AJ has been working night shifts, working night shifts hard.
And I'm about to go for 2 more weeks.
Every day?
Yeah. Monday to Friday, 2 weeks.
Monday to Friday night shifts.
Well, it'll be Sunday night for Thursday night, because that's how it ends up working out. But yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
It sucks. I hate it, but I do it because I get benefits and I have a job. So not
benefits
bad.
And money. It helps. Yeah. It helps soften the blow a little bit, eh?
Little bit. It still sucks. It still sucks an unbelievable amount of chutzpah.
That sounds right. Yeah, sucks a lot of chutzpah. Okay. Well, then I guess we just get right into the chat here. I don't think we have anything planned about what has specifically gone on. Nope, because the NHL's taken a pause, and while the draft season continues to chug forward, I believe a lot of European leagues are also taking a break during this time. I think maybe it hasn't started yet, but I think they're taking a break. So anyway, might be a bit of a soft time for actual updates and news and stuff. But nonetheless, let's do this. Let's fire away your questions. And again, if you haven't already, definitely. I mean, if you're watching this for the first time, subscribe to the channel. But also, we got a lot of videos up on the channel recently, so go check those out after this. Once we're done. Okay. You may not want to call me, by the way, finance daddy after the last week of my life, which has been very painful, although apparently less painful than a lot of people out there. A lot of those Wall Street Bets dorks had a really bad week, and I didn't have that bad of a week, but not great. So might want to hold off on the finance kudos right now. But I guess not being as bad as a lot of people who talk a lot on the internet is probably a decent spot to be in.
It's not a terrible spot to be in.
No, it's not a terrible spot to be in. And look, the investments that I have made which is not very much in the sense of individual picks, because that's a dumb thing to do. But the investments that I have made, I have conviction. I have theses. I have storylines. I have all of the necessary ingredients to either go down with the ship and swing in the whole way, or it'll turn around and things are going to turn out okay for me. So one way or the other, we're going down with the ship. I have finally cracked the code, so to speak. I'm never going to lose again. But our fellow finance bro in the chat, tell me the Rangers are fine to pick Lawrence at 3 and not to get worried about his NCAA stats. Tell me it'll all be okay. Well, I don't think you're going to need to worry about picking Lawrence at 3, because I don't think anyone's going to do that. But I mean, look, like, think about it this way, right? Like, Ty Lawrence is 17. He doesn't turn 18 until July? So he's going to be 17 the entire season. And 17-year-olds are very rare in college hockey to begin with. And Ty Lawrence, if there's anything I can maybe critique him for, it's like diverse offensive zone skill sets and tools. And his impact is much more sort of neutral zone, two-way sort of impact. And I value that a lot, but it doesn't often always show up on a score sheet, right? The way I see it is he has been injured to start the year. He had a spectacular Holinka Gretzky Cup. He then got hurt, missed a bunch of time, I think he's played almost as many games in the NCAA now as he did in the USHL this year. And he's only been in the NCAA for like a month. Also, Boston University, from the games I've seen, it's just they're kind of a bit of a mess in terms of cohesion. And again, like, hockey is a sport where a weak link can sever the entire line, right? Like a couple of bobbled passes here, a couple of missed opportunities there, and next thing you know, you got a turnover and you're coming the other way, and the guy you're interested in had nothing to do with it, right? So it's like, is it there, or can you really chalk it up to them all that much? And when I watch Lawrence, I'm not always, I'm not just going to make an excuse of like, oh, it's never his fault or anything. But I do think that his impact on the game, I tracked a game of him in the NCAA, and I've seen 2 other ones, and I don't really see a cause for concern. I think that the offensive zone play is definitely lagging where it should be. You definitely want to see more sort of separation ability. The skill level is fine, but not, I would say, good enough to beat NCAA competition at the moment. I'd love to see him sort of threading more passes around the ice and threading more passes in the offensive zone as opposed to trying to do a lot himself. And he's much more of an offensive transition heavy player, and he is arguably one of the best in the draft in terms of volume and success rate and variety with which he's able to do it. Like, he does a really, really good job pretty much across the board. And he's also a very good defensive center as well for me, if you ask me. Like, I think if he can just get a bit quicker and everything like that, like the way I see it is with Muskegon, he clearly was not being challenged too much, right? I thought there were some bad habits in his game from the games I saw in Muskegon this year. He was kind of doing a lot on his own, and I get the feeling that it was just too much of a walk in the park. And if you look at his points per game production, I think it's like well ahead of anybody else in this draft class for the USHL, at least in terms of first-time eligibles. So it doesn't really concern me. You got to think about the long game. And he's going into a bit of a dysfunctional situation right now with BU, and he's already playing like way up their lineup, and he's a 17-year-old, right? Like, I get the feeling that, like, you have to think about it in a way where it's like, well, if he did stay in the USHL and scored at that rate for the rest of the year, would anybody bat an eye? Would anybody move him down the list? Because he probably would. So if that's the case, then does he all of a sudden just like suck because he went to a different place? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, just because you switch teams and you automatically, like, no, you have to look at the player and what they're bringing to the game. And, like, I feel like if people are looking at a player who they had in the top 5 a month ago and then going, well, a month later, because he's not looking great right off the hop in the NCAA, we should just boot him to a maybe mid-first round pick. And if that's what you want to do, then fine. But I set the bar higher for me to jump off the wagon on a guy, especially when there are quite a few areas of data where he still looks pretty darn good by and large. So I'm still curious. I still like him, but I still don't think he's going to go at 3. Myopic Canadian Olympic chuds consulted the graph of medals and have despaired. Exactly. I mean, look, Canada might be cooked, man. We love this country. It's great, but only 2 medals to this point. I don't know what we're supposed to do with that. We're such a powerhouse at some of the sports that have already happened, like ski jumping. Definitely was a real high hope for Canada to pull off a ski jumping medal. But I believe this happened in Paris as well, but like the medal winners are often very heavily leaning towards women. I mean, this year it's 100%. Both of them have been women. But I believe in Paris, at least for the first little while, many of them were women, which is great. That's cool. But us dudes, we got to get this up, Anyway. Anywho. But It's a long tournament, or it's a long event, and there's plenty of opportunity because, look, we still got hockey, right? We still got the hockey, and I watched some of the figure skating, and the Canadian women, or the Canadian team, figure skating team came 5th or something. But guy did a backflip, which was kind of fun. A guy did a backflip, and that was fun. If you knew Bjork was the same level of impact as Rossi, where would you take him? I mean, it depends on what you mean, right? Like, I don't think they're similar players. I think if I was being honest, I might lean a little more in the Rossi direction, but not really. It's close. I mean, Bjork I've just loved more and more every time I've seen him. I think he's just getting better and better and better, playing more at a really high level this year. Just a really smart player, really good off the puck as well. Really skilled. He had a wicked goal the other day in the SHL that was gross. Just such a smart, well-rounded player that I think has growth potential as well. Like, there's a lot of things adding up that are really, really valuable. And, I don't think he's that far behind a Stenberg this year if we're talking, like, especially because he's a lot younger. I think Bjork, based on the jumps that he's made over the last 12 months, 18 months, from what I've seen, Good player. And look, like in terms of like impact, like a Marco Rossi, I don't think you're going to get as like physical a player as Rossi, but you are still getting a pretty intense forechecker. I think Rossi has a quicker set of feet under him than Bjork does as well, but Bjork is not far behind, and I think he's catching up pretty rapidly over the season. So, where would I take Bjork though? Like, I mean, honestly, like realistically speaking, probably as high as 3 or 4 looking at this class. Like, I love Stenberg. I love Preston, but I don't think I'd draft him that high. I'd rather trade down and get him later because it seems like he might not even be a first-round pick. So I'd rather gamble and trade down. But, I mean, look, McKenna probably is the right call, realistically speaking there. And Bjork, though, like after that point, it's all bets are off, in my opinion. Like, Bjork, Lawrence, Gustafson, Verhoff, like that whole range is so close to me. It really just comes down to the type of player you want, the type of player you value, and what you think these guys could turn into. Because there's a lot of different options and a lot of different pathways, I think. Depressed. Yeah, I'm sorry that you're a depressed Rangers fan. It's unfortunate. But that's why you're here, right? Like we're here to help each other out and get through the hard times, and just stay grounded. Stay grounded through some hard times as fans of a not so great NHL team. And look, if Chris Drury wants to call me up and maybe I can offer some assistance in any way, shape, or form, I'll listen. I like New York. New York City's cool. Manhattan's cool. I know there are some Islanders fans in our chat that definitely would not like me to work for the Rangers, but I think MSG is kind of cool. Both the food, chemical, and the place. It seems pretty neat, and I love Manhattan. So, we'll see. But my phone hasn't rung yet. So
Will advocates for MSG in all food.
Well, I mean, it is pretty scientifically stated and reinforced that the hullabaloo and the hoopla about the downsides of MSG have been greatly overblown, I believe, and it was science gone wrong, I think, there. So I'm here to lead the charge to bring MSG back to our plates because it is good. But nonetheless, we're not here to talk about monosodium glutamate. We're here to talk about hockey. But we can talk about monosodium glutamate if you want, but I don't think you want to talk about that.
I think Uncle Roger would love that very much.
Yeah, Uncle Roger and Uncle Roger. Yeah, that's true. That's a throwback. I haven't heard that in a while. That's true. I do need to watch out for electronic devices around JT Miller. It's true. You never know. What do you make of the Rangers prospect situation? Seems like the pickings are slim. We really need to draft a high skill center. Well, I mean, you're not wrong. It's not the greatest. I mean, the Rangers have traded a lot of picks, and look, I mean, there are guys that they've drafted recently that are playing on the team. You've got Cooley, you've got Rempe, you've obviously got Lafreniere, and that was only 6 years ago. Like, let's not forget that a lot of this has happened recently. But there are a lot of guys like Kravtsov and Kako. Pretty much a lot of their high end picks have just not stuck and not worked. But the Rangers are currently sitting in my hashtag model at 19th in the league, which is not awful. Mm-hmm. But when you look at the names that are really pumping those numbers up, I mean, Gabe Perreault obviously stands out, but I don't know. I like Drew Fortescue as a potential maybe depth defenseman. Mikkel Eriksson is a nice home run shot that has been having a really good year, but I still wonder about his NHL upside, but a fun player to watch and has been having a great year. Same thing with Artyom Gonchar. Really fun defenseman to watch. I actually saw a game of the Sudbury Wolves today, and he's a confident, aggressive young man there, and we'll see if it works, because if it does, it could be a lot of fun, but he is a bit of a wild man out there. So and he doesn't really strike me as your typical Ranger, which is kind of strange, but I'll take it. But you've also got Nathan Aspinall, who everybody seems to be talking about. He's been having a really good year, and I thought he's been decent. But, yeah, I mean, the Rangers don't have a ton. They do have a very large group of players. I think they might have one of the biggest group of players out there.
Do you mean in terms of quantity or in terms of size?
No, their big, in my database here, their big percentage is 5th in the league. Utah and Ottawa are way out in front. And then Chicago, New York, both New York teams actually, are the next sort of tier of big teams. But the Rangers do have the third largest average size on the team. The big percentage in the database is the percentage of all of their players over a certain height. So that implies the Rangers have a lot of big players, but not as many as a share of their total as teams like Chicago or Utah or Ottawa. Ottawa is gargantuan. They're almost 100. They're 190 centimeters on average, which is really big. That's like 6'4", 6'3", something like that. So if it works, it works. We'll see what happens. But look, for the Rangers, I mean, it's not unsalvageable. There's not nothing there. There's not nothing already on the team. But the team itself is not great. So, take that for what you will. How has Lawrence looked at the NCAA level? We kind of did that. But I think the concerns are a little overblown. I think people are very, very quick to throw him by the wayside just because of whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm coping, but I don't see reason to be too concerned. And also, there's no real benefit. If you believed in him before, you should probably believe in him now. It's not like he forgot how to play hockey just because he moved a few hundred kilometers to go to a more difficult level.
He never knew how to do it in the first place.
That's true. Maybe he sucked the whole time. I don't know. Maybe him being one of the best players on the Canadian team in September or August or whatever it was maybe it was just a fluke, and maybe him being so successful in the USHL was a fluke, and maybe, but I guess that's what we're supposed to figure out. That's what I'm paid to figure out. There's been a lot of movement throughout all your rankings in the past 2 weeks, especially in the top 10 as tier 1 shaped out. I mean, yeah, so I did a sweep of everybody in the first round pretty much, I think, right? I haven't done a game of Piperinen in a while, but other than that, I guess Cullen, it's been a while. But pretty much everybody else I've seen relatively recently. Fyodorov I haven't seen in a while. So some things have flipped around. I don't know. I don't know what it looked like last week. Maybe I'd pull up a freeze frame from last week. But a lot has shifted. I mean, in the sense of it's kind of just gotten a lot closer. My first tier is only 3 guys long now of Stenberg, Preston, McKenna. I still love Mathis Preston, and I feel like if he wasn't injured, I feel like he'd be scoring quite a lot, and maybe people would get back on the wagon and go, wow, he really benefited from a trade, wow, you must have really needed it or whatever, right? I don't know, maybe. But from there,
or they just tell you you're wrong,
or they just tell you that you're wrong, yeah. But a second tier, though, it very quickly becomes I don't friggin' know. I'm the guy that people pay to tell them things, and I don't know.
It's not even that you don't know, you just don't have a strong.
Well, they're all just really good.
They're
all just really good.
Pick one. That's what it becomes a preference thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's Bjork, Lawrence, Gustafsson, Smits, Villeneuve, Verhoff. I don't think any of those guys are not going to work out. I'd even throw Piperinen and Reed in there. I don't think any of those guys are ever not going to be a thing. How effective they'll be in the NHL, we'll see. But Savanto as well. I cannot imagine he doesn't play in the NHL at some point. He's just humongous and pretty decent at hockey as well, which helps. But I mean, yeah, a lot of stuff shifted. It's just. Some things I'm concerned about get reinforced, or some things I'm curious about that I haven't seen as much of get shown. And the other thing too is sometimes what happens is you just watch some guys back to back, or you see growth in players from month to month or whatever, and you just kind of go, I think I know which one I would want, and I had it the other way around. Last time I saw these guys, and now that I've seen more, it's getting to that point where you kind of just go, yeah, I think I would rather have this guy instead of this guy. So things can shift quite a bit still, and for me, they shift right up until the day. It's just the way she goes. And generally though, the thing I'm trying to get nailed down is the tiers. And I think right now, the question I always ask myself is, if it's McKenna or Bjork, which one do I want? I think that's close, but I think that you pretty clearly want McKenna, but it's a tough decision. But I think you want McKenna. But then, after that, it's like, do you want Bjork or Gustafson or Smits or whatever? It's like, I think you could make the argument for any of those. But then it's, Chase Reed or Oliver Savanto. I think I want Chase Reed. But then, Oliver Savanto or Ryan Lynn. I want Savanto, right? Like, there's those questions that start to be asked. And then by the end of the day, you kind of hope you have those groups right, and then just play your cards on draft day, I suppose, and let them fall where they may. Does Albert Smith suck at skating, and when he get exposed in the OHL? All right, look, man, look.
I wonder what this is.
I wonder who this could be about and what this could be. I mean, look, yeah. The answer to your question is probably no. Probably no. But we'll see. I mean, look, he's an Olympian, man. He's an Olympian. Yuri Tahachuk.
You're not.
He's an Olympian. Yeah, you're not. Haters gonna hate. The usual, right? Haters gonna hate. And
you're just gonna shake it off like Taylor Swift?
Yeah, just shake
like
it
his
off.
favorite artist?
His favorite artist, just shake it off.
It actually is, and you can find that out on Game Tape for yourself.
The man.
See, look, I'm really good at doing plugs.
Exactly. The man has taste. The man knows what he wants. The man is.
He likes white girl music.
He's got his principles. He stands by it, and clearly Latvia loves that about him because they put him on the Olympic team, and he is the only 18-year-old in the Olympic tournament this year. Celebrini, I think, is the only other teenager, and that's a pretty good hockey player.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what Smits can do because we'll see if he gets exposed in the Olympics. But I don't think that's going to happen. I've seen him play with the Latvian men's team this year, and they put him on the team for a reason. I think he's pretty good, and you can't ever count out the Latvians. 2 hours of scouching for the ride home from my ski trip. Oh, well, look at Mr. Fancy Man over here in his ski trip. I am skiing through my television watching the Olympics, but
we appreciate you deciding to spend your time with us.
Yeah, please spam us with questions. I mean, I know you just had to sit through like 7 hours of Nikita Sherbakov video to put a report together, which God bless you. God bless you. But all your Pugachev related questions can fire my way. All your favorites,
your poopy questions.
Your Pugachev questions. I don't know. It's been a crazy week, man. It's been a pretty wild week. But we're hanging in there.
Mm-hmm.
It is busy season now. It is starting to I was in bed last night, and it's like I kind of had a bit of trouble falling asleep, but I was just sort of sitting there being like, man, I got a lot going on. There's a lot to do between now and June, and I don't know. It's like that whole gear shift is going on of all right, now we're pivoting into content mode, and I'm looking at guys. It's like, oh my God, I have 2 more games of Chase Reed to track, and then he's probably one of the first guys getting a video this year. It's going to happen. It's happening quick, man. This year has really flown by, and in the last week, we welcomed a child into the world. We didn't, but the in-laws did.
No. Will and I had a baby.
Yeah, AJ and I made a baby. Yeah, we.
Just like in South Park.
You said that, not me. I was gonna say it, but I let you step in there. Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny
between you and me.
Obviously, not true.
Between you and me, who is Donald Trump and who is Satan? I'm probably Satan because I'm probably Satan, I think, in that case.
Yeah, because you have to put up with more of my BS.
And I'm gentler. I have to put up with your BS, and I'm gentler, I think. I'm more emotional.
Hey, relax, guy.
Right, that's definitely you. Yeah, you're definitely the Donald Trump in that relationship, for sure. And you're smaller than me. You're much smaller than me, so that also works.
Am I much smaller than you?
Well, significantly. I probably got a good 60 pounds on you.
Really?
Probably.
What, are you 200 pounds?
I'm a solid 200, dog.
Damn. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, man.
You're 2 inches and 60 pounds.
Those Kirkland pink salt chips don't eat themselves, bruh.
Jeez.
Those.
Hey, man, I can eat. It's just a metabolism thing.
Yeah, that slows down. Trust me. Yeah, especially the pandemic. Oh, it will. It will.
It has.
Once I was about, I'd say 30. That's when I started going every 3 months in the mirror, going, "Oh my God, what is happening?" And probably the inactivity during the pandemic didn't help. That also
I'm
didn't help.
5 years away from that.
Yeah, you got time. You got some time. Enjoy it while it lasts.
I will try.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't require that much of an adjustment. It's just a matter of caloric intake, and and it's fine. Instead of eating a burrito every day, you eat a burrito every week, and then you're good.
You eat a burrito every day? No wonder you're fat.
Yeah, no, I'm not eating a burrito every day. I just had a burrito last night during the Super Bowl. So
okay.
Shout out to my Uber driver, by the way, coming out on Super Bowl Sunday in the evening.
Oh, he probably figured he was going to get a nice...
Yeah, I gave him a solid tip, especially because, well, this is a little frustrating, but the local burrito shop was doing a 2-for-1 on Uber, but on the web app for Uber Eats, the 2-for-1, you had to manually input 2 burritos, and I did not notice that in the print on the offer. So when I ordered a burrito, I thought I was getting 2 identical burritos because that's usually how it works, but one came to the door, so I paid $27 after tip for a burrito, which was kind of annoying. And so I messaged them because we looked at the phone app, and the phone app defaulted to add 2 burritos to cart. So the web app said 1, but the phone said 2 automatically. And so there was a mismatch. And so I screwed myself out of a second burrito. Well, I screwed my partner out of a burrito because we both wanted one. And instead, I ate most of one because she didn't want one, really. I was not super hungry. So we lucked out on that. But my stupid ass lit $14 on fire because I didn't check the fine print well enough, even though anyway, they told me to kick rocks basically when I was like, is there anything you can do? And they're like, no, it says put 2 in the cart and you put 1, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. So anyway.
Yeah. My last experience with Uber Eats, they picked up the wrong order for me and gave it to me for free. So.
Oh, I've got a really good story about that. It was Halloween, like 10 years ago, maybe. And we ordered wings from a local wing shop where I used to live in Toronto, and it took 3 hours. And which makes sense. It's Halloween, right? Like, whatever. You're probably insanely busy. I usually give restaurants a lot of leeway, but the order
3 hours is a lot.
3 hours is a lot. And we called, and they're like, it's on the way, yada yada yada. And we're like, okay, like, sure. And then an order does show up eventually, and it's a humongous order of chicken wings, like way more than we ordered, like way too many. And we're like, whoa, this is pretty nice, like very nice of you to overcompensate here. Like, we didn't ask for this, but like, that's really nice of you. The problem was they were all like pretty cold, and it was for a different person. It was a different name on the receipt, a different name, a different phone number, a different everything. And so we called the phone number of the person who ordered it. They were very confused when I called them. And it was this I think it was a nice woman on the other end of the phone line. And she was like, oh, is your name Will? And I went, yeah. And she goes, I got your order, and I was wondering where the rest of my chicken was. And I was like, well, do you want me to like drop it off at your house? Like, I don't know where you live, but, and she's,
that's wild.
And she's like, no, I'll just keep it. Like, I don't care. She's like, I'll just ask for a refund because this is ridiculous. And I was like, well, I mean, great, thanks. So we had chicken wings for like 3 days yeah, and I'm getting a little off track here, but someone ordered in that batch of wings, I think they must have been having a party because there was commotion on the other end of the phone line. Someone ordered sauce-free boneless chicken wings.
Ew.
From a wing shop. That must be the most, no offense if that person is watching this or if you like your wings boneless and sauceless. That must be the most boring.
Boneless is cool.
Yeah, boneless is fine. I don't judge boneless. I don't judge boneless at all. I mean, they're chicken nuggets, right? Like, that's the best. But that must be the most boring person imaginable at that party, right? Give me boneless chicken nuggets with no sauce, please. It's like, come on. You just want chicken, breaded chicken? Like, I don't know. I judged that person a little bit that night, but I was a younger man. I'm more forgiving, I guess, now. But no, I still judge that person. It's pretty boring. There were some fun orders in there, though. We had a good time. My coworker got 2 steak dinners when she ordered pasta. That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's a wild one. That's a lot of steak too. Like, those steak dinners can be pretty hefty. That's a lot of red meat.
Pretty nuts.
That's a lot of red meat. Where's Rudolph's Rudy Burrs counts? I like the Rudy pull there. Rudy Burrs, man. Rudy Burrs is sitting. Where is he? Rudy's sitting at 48 for me. I really like Rudolph's Burst counts. I mean, I think he's one of these guys where, as he is, he's not an NHLer. Like, I don't think at all. But there's a lot of ingredients that I'm surprised more NHL teams aren't paying more attention to. Like, he's ranked on Central Scouting as maybe a second-round pick, but maybe more of a third. And I think that's reasonable, but he's lanky. He's a pretty good skater as well for a guy his size. He's relatively young. There's a lot of things about his game that I do really, really like. And I think if you bet on him and let him season and develop, like a good chicken wing needs good seasoning and some time. Well, actually, that's not true. They cook pretty quick, I believe. But in any case, that's kind of the whole appeal, right? Like, you can just cook them real fast and then they just fly out of the fryer or whatever. And then you're just, anyway. But yeah, Burzkown's good player. Loves the game. Probably loves his mom. Not on the Olympic team, though. He's not an Olympian for Latvia, so maybe he isn't very good. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, good player. Second round pick for me. He's kind of like a weird inverse universe version of like a Tinus Luke Koblar to me, where it's like, yeah, he's young. Koblar had a lot of skill and was really efficient with his numbers and data and production and all that stuff. It just didn't show up on the score sheet. Burzkown's, the offensive game for him is touch and go, I think, but the skating ability and the size combination is really intriguing, and physical player. Like, the thing I love most about Burzkown's is his board work as well. I think that translates impeccably, and his ability to just protect the puck, create some room, use his frame to his advantage, I think is really, really, really good. So I'm a big fan. Yeah, I also agree. Tom Wilson crashing out that one time ruined the Rangers. I forgot about that until you mentioned it. That might have actually broken the New York Rangers for quite a while. That was a wild
Tom Wilson?
time. Yeah,
thank you for your service.
Remember the Tom Wilson thing with the Rangers? Where
absolutely, of course I do.
Flipped out. Yeah, that was crazy times, man. Tom Wilson's impact on the NHL. Like, okay, here's a question. This is half serious, but based on his impact on the game,
half serious,
based on the impact that he has had on the game, both literally and metaphorically, and how much people talk about him, he's an Olympian, and how much in the draft world people are always looking for the next Tom Wilson and comparing guys to Tom Wilson. Does Tom Wilson go in the Hall of Fame just because of the vibes?
Is honestly, no.
He's a Stanley Cup winner. He's an Olympian. He might be an Olympic gold medalist. And he's broken franchises before. And he did this. He did the crying thing to a guy once that was really great too. He did that, and that's like showing some character.
That's Hall of Fame worthy.
That's Hall of Fame. Yeah, like that's the Hall of Vibes. He can go in the Hall of Vibes with like Phil Kessel, and who else would go in the Hall of Vibes? Not Hall of Fame,
but Phil Kessel's won many cups.
That's true.
Phil Kessel's also a Leafs legend.
You could argue Phil Kessel should be in the real Hall of Fame.
You can actually
that induction speech would be hilarious, I think.
You know what? Let's get Phil Kessel into the Hall of Fame.
I say,
for this reason.
He suffered through those years with the Leafs. He is a cancer survivor, which is also pretty wild. People forget that. But multi-Stanley Cup winner, probably should have won a Conn Smythe.
Screw it. He's a Hall of Famer.
He should be a Hall of Famer, man. He's won more Stanley Cups than like Shea Weber, right? So makes you think,
What, he's won 3 more Stanley Cups?
Yes, infinitely more, yes, because Shea Weber has 0. But you get the point. But I guess he wouldn't even be in the Hall of Vibes. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But Tom Wilson, man, first inductee into the Hall of Vibes, though, to say the least. Why has Ryan Lynn fallen so far? I mean, he hasn't really fallen far. He's just lower on my list than a lot of people. And I think when you look at, like, NHL Central Scouting had him at 13th in North America, which is also a late first round pick, I would say. Maybe like that's around where I have him, like 20s, something like that, maybe. I mean, in this year's crop of Europeans, it might be closer to the end of the first round. I think with Ryan Lynn, like, it's not, like, I can see why people would rank him a lot higher than I have him. Like, I don't judge. I mean, I don't usually straight up judge other people's, like, rankings if I can sort of pick through what they're getting at. Like, I don't judge you if you're like, I really like Ryan Lynn and I think he's going to go high and should go high and could be really, really good. Like, I'm not passing any judgment. I just see a lot of risk in his game that is tough to project. Ryan Lynn is a very, 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 very smart player. Like, there's a lot of good stuff that he does in terms of timing his passes and positioning himself defensively, especially, and not overcommitting. And there's a lot of things that he does really, really well. The problem is I think the offense is very dependent on already being in the offensive zone. I think his puck moving ability is a little bit overrated. Very good passer, but carrying the puck and seeing the ice and making like quick executions on his plays. I just think that he's a guy who he really lacks a set of feet under him that I think allows him to project as he is. Like, a lot of people talk about like Adam Fox, but like, that's the one that worked, right? Like, Adam Fox is also not a bad skater. I don't think. And I think that you can't really compare the two. And also, Adam Fox wasn't a first round pick, right? Like, he was a third round pick for a reason, multiple reasons. But, you know, on talent alone, I remember back in those days, I had him in the late 20s on my list at that point, because I remember the same things about him where it's like, he's really smart, great skill, decent skater, but like, is it enough to be a top end NHL player? Because he's not going to be trusted on a bottom pair, probably, right? Like, if a Zach Jones can't crack an NHL roster as a bottom pair defenseman, then an Adam Fox might not. Obviously, I'm mixing up timelines here, but you get the point. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, though, with Ryan Lynn, it's a matter of like how safely I can project him, right? Like, NHL scouts have told me over the years that like, if you're in the first round and you're drafting a player, most of the time, especially really high, there cannot be any doubt that you believe this player is going to make it. Like, you don't get to sit on the sidelines. You don't get to sort of blunt your analysis. It's like, if you cannot draft a player high in the draft that you sit there and go, yeah, but there's avenues where I don't think it works out. Like, that's just not an option. Generally, that's the goal. And I think with Ryan Lynn, I think you can look at his game and go, yeah, I think there's a decent chance that it doesn't work out. I like Ryan Lynn. I think there's a lot of potential in his game. I just think he has a long way to go to be what people think he is, or think he could be, right? Like, I think that in the CHL, the leagues as a whole have maybe taken a step back a little bit, or at least equalized, to be more in line with maybe Quebec, adding a lot of US players and getting a little better. But Ryan Lynn, I mean, I like him a lot. He's a fun player to watch, an interesting one, but I think the skating especially might be tough to project to the NHL without some real big improvement. But he's in my first round, definitely one of the smartest defensemen available. And at the end of the day, like, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the 9th ranked defenseman for me, and a pretty strong class of defensemen. So I'll take it. Sorry, my nose is running for some reason here. All right, what do we got here? Beanpot ? Honestly, I have not seen it. I've been too busy watching the Olympics, honestly, during the day, and then at night, I'm too busy playing Fortnite and beating up on little kids.
Yeah. Just like Will beats up on kids' games in hockey, he likes to beat up on little kids.
Yeah, I punch down all the time. It's all I do in my life is I just punch down. Oh, Boston University won the Beanpot. Oh, so maybe Ty Lawrence isn't bad after all.
But how many points did he have?
I don't know. Let's see.
Well, don't you know you have to search up how many points somebody had in order to see if they're valuable or not?
Wait a minute. This game didn't happen yet. Why does Wikipedia say BU won it? Ugh. One thing I also don't like, I got to throw this out there, and like, I'm a supporter of the media. I pray that the world of the media is able to financially support themselves, but there is nothing worse to me than opening pretty much every reputable news site now, and they all individually ask for a subscription and like show you the page for a split second, and then they're like, it's gone, pay us. I go, like, I don't know what the solution is, but that ain't it. For every newspaper out there, that's just wild.
Well, it's got to be it.
I know it's got to be it, actually. You know what? I do know it's got to be it. But I will say, one thing I did do over the weekend, I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, and this is a little off topic, but I don't care. I went down a little rabbit hole. I did not realize how big the website, the Pentagon Pizza Index, has gotten. Are you familiar with what the Pentagon Pizza Index is?
Nope.
Okay, so the Pentagon Pizza Index is this website that you can Google. I think it's pizzaint.watch, I think is the URL. It is a website that tracks the activity of the pizza places closest to the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. So if it's late at night and there's a lot of pizza orders being put in, then then there's probably something going on at the Pentagon that might be newsworthy. And what that feeds into is like poly market betting. And
get the I almost swore, man.
And
that's so stupid.
It's stupid, but it makes sense.
It makes sense, but like why are we creeping pizza delivery, man?
To make money, bro. It's to make money on prediction markets. It's what you do in 2026, man.
Well, how come we're not sponsored by a prediction market? Like, what's going on here?
They haven't called me yet.
Well, then we don't promote them.
We start a prediction market, or we start a bet on Polymarket that says who will Scouch have at number 1 next week, and I put $1 million on Aller Suvanto. I put $1 million on Aller Suvanto, which is going to be like 80-1 odds, and then I'm going to make $80 million because that's what you do on a prediction market. If you have insider knowledge, they want to reward you for insider knowledge on those websites. They said it themselves. Yeah. So everybody,
that's crazy.
Everybody get on the site, make a thing of like who all have
insider trading is good here.
Yeah. But like, in any case, that website though has grown pretty incredibly into I think a pretty legitimate news source, which is very strange. But it brings together all of these sort of news sources. It's something so simple as like they have like line graphs that track the sentiment of the relations between two countries, and then you can like click into it and see all the different prediction markets that are like feeding into that score based on like the trends in the betting. And then you can click into those and like see the news stories that like fuel the changes in the betting. So it's like this weird cross between like news and gambling that actually seems kind of interesting in like a modern sort of, because there's an incentive to be correct, right? Like the news being reported, the incentive is to be right because there's prediction markets that have money riding on the correct outcome. So it almost forces
what
people...
What is the world, man? Like, what have we turned into?
It's an interesting incentive for someone reporting the news to get it right, because it's weird and it kind of makes sense in my head, but saying it is a lot more difficult. But it was really weird. I went down a deep rabbit hole.
So what if you just decided to order a butt load of pizzas close to the White House and then bet against a certain newsworthy event because you're fixing it in a way that makes people think, somebody's having a pizza party. It must be...
I mean, I'm sure the Pentagon knows about it. I think, there's a comment in the chat that the pizza index is outdated because the Pentagon adapts based on the info that gets out. So, like, they know. I think they would be like, look, if something's out there or whatever, we're just not ordering pizza tonight. Like, we're ordering Chinese food or something. I don't know, but, like, they're definitely not falling for it anymore. But the thing for me is, like,
I don't think President Trump will be ordering Chinese food anytime
right. But, like, but it's more like Pete Hegseth. He might be, maybe I'd be curious about the liquor stores around the Pentagon then in that case. Maybe that would be...
All right, it's time to start a new business.
Yeah, the Pentagon Liquor Index. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, I mean, no, it's true though. I think that website though, the other features of it that I did not even know existed until this weekend. I went deep, man. I was going deep on the nonsense. And I mean, look, I'm not putting money into prediction markets or anything, but it is a very intriguing thing that is very unique and different that I had to hold myself in really hard at the time to be like, I'm old. I might not understand it, but it works somehow and people like it. So I'm not going to be that old man yelling at a cloud back in my day type thing.
I don't care. People can do what they want to. It's just like, why?
Well, that's the thing. Like it's kind of dumb to put money into prediction markets, I think, because you don't have the information. Like insiders, like it's I don't think it's going to last super long for most kinds of bets because people are going to learn like I'm going to like either you bet the favorite all the time because the favorite must have that knowledge that like that's what's going to happen. Or I don't know, like, or you just don't bet because you're like, well, I'm guessing, I'm gambling. But someone else has the insider information that they're just gonna make my money off of, right? Like they know better than me. So in any case, I don't know. Like it's a weird thing, but that website itself I thought was really interesting. Anywho, what's your Costco peanut butter pretzel rating out of 10?
I thought you were gonna say Costco peanut butter hot dog.
No, I haven't done that yet. I thought
it was going.
I haven't done that yet. I gotta say, my Costco locally generally is pretty good. Thank God they're building a second one because it's a nightmare. But I went there a few days ago, last week, got myself a hot dog on the way out, and I was so excited. I was like, I asked my partner, I'm like, oh, you want to get some Costco dogs and have a like afternoon snack or whatever? And she was like, yeah, let's get some Costco dogs. And so I did.
Why is she more manly sounding than you?
She was that excited. Yeah. That's welcome to my world, man. That's how it works. But I bought my 2 hot dogs, got my 2 beverage cups, containers, whatever. I put Fanta orange in one, and I put Sprite in the other. I thought, nice little off the wall choices, whatever, once in a while.
Was it terrible?
Well, the Fanta was great. The Fanta tasted like Fanta, which is awesome. The Sprite was just soda water. And that's a dirty trick because Sprite is the same color as soda water pretty much. And so for them to just soda water it, I get it was busy. I get it's crazy.
Was it like that, or was it that it ran out? Because sometimes they run out and then it just becomes watery.
I'm sure they ran out. I'm sure they didn't deliberately sabotage the Sprite supply. But I didn't notice until I got home, really. Or no, I was in the car on the way home, and it was kind of spilling a little bit in my cup holder in the front because I drive really fast, like dangerously fast. And so no, I'm kidding. I just stopped at a stoplight and like it was too full and the lid wasn't.
You stopped at a stoplight when the light was green.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. I've done that before. I've done that. I did that once with the better half in the car, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I went, "Oh yeah,
oh my ADHD."
Whoops.
I forgot. I was thinking about how everybody thinks my rankings suck.
Yeah, I was too busy thinking about other people thinking about me. So yeah, no, my Costco was off its game that day, which is unusual, but I'll live with it because the peanut butter pretzels are sick. I can't buy them. I'm not allowed because they're too good. They're going to disappear too quickly. But those are bomb. If you have a family or something and you're not just yourself or a pair, those are good pickups. Those are good buys. How is Albert Smith so high? He's not even producing that much in Liga, not even strong league there. Look, I've watched him a ton over the last 2 years. He's really good. Like, he's really good, man. He's playing on a terrible team in Liga, and they're playing him like half an hour, and I don't think he's the reason they're bad. I don't.
Do you see the plus minus?
I don't.
Defenseman, you look at plus minus. Yeah. Forwards, you look at points.
Defensemen and points are not a correlate. I could not care less how much a defenseman scores.
No, we're talking about plus minus.
Yes, I know, here. But like he's not producing that much in Liga. Yeah, but like nobody is on his team. I think their leading scorer has like 20 points in 45 games this year or something like that.
Yeah, that's the worst kind of golden bucket.
It's insane. So, I mean, yeah, like at times I think Smits has worn the golden bucket. I could be wrong, but
that is pretty sad.
The point I'm trying to make is I've watched enough this year to know he belongs in that range. I think, look, he's on the, like, I know Latvia is not the, be all end all world beating hockey team, but they're not bad. They're one of the best in the world, all things considered. And they put him on the Olympic team. And I bet he's going to play a pretty decent role for them. I hope to see him a lot. But he is a good player. And I have a lot of hope for him. And we know him. So automatically we have to like him and put him at the top of the board.
It's harder for me to say I know him because I wasn't present on the call. But, I'll still say it about Matthew Schaefer because it makes me look better.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough. But, hey.
It's more because I know how absurd it is to say that. And it's something that 5-year-old me would want to say. is
Right.
I know this person who is notable now, even though this person, when I was 5, wasn't alive.
Walter Gretzky signed a hat once. I know Wayne Gretzky.
Walter Gretzky signed my jersey.
Right. You're
Maple Leaf.
basically Wayne Gretzky's best friend. Like
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Well,
basically.
actually, though, my nunno has like my grandfather knew Wayne Gretzky, and there's a photo of him and Wayne Gretzky in my room.
So
But
you're
like that's
twice removed from best friends. That's it.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. He gave him a picture, hoping that he'd survive cancer. He didn't, but now I have the photo.
Well, there you go. Ups and downs, I guess.
Yeah, that's a concern, but hey,
ups
it happens.
And, positives and negatives in life. It's the way she goes. Anywho,
we won't live forever.
No, we will not.
Forever.
Well, I will, and you will. You and I have talked about how we're gonna live.
I'll live forever.
You're gonna live forever.
Fabian Lysell first overall. That's why I'll live forever.
You're gonna live forever. We've talked about this before, that you have a special ability in life, and you're gonna live forever.
Yeah,
and
I'm just gonna be in an EU4 game.
I'll be like Gollum though. Like I'll be like Gollum, following you around. Yeah, you're the One Ring, and I'm following you around and just turning into this decrepit old.
Why is this turning into story time?
Turning into more and more, just looking like a toe.
You know,
toe with hair.
When I have to tell another story now because you brought up Gollum.
Uh-huh.
When I was a kid, I said to my dad, "I like Gollum. He's my friend," and I had like a picture of Gollum in my room as a little child.
Well,
Isn't that
creepy.
Horrifying?
That's creepy and weird, but hey, man, kids like whatever they like. I'm not gonna judge. I'm
not scared of him.
I was a little scared of
him.
I'm not gonna lie. That first movie came out when I was like 10, and I saw it in theaters. Gollum was a little spooky to me. It was a little creepo, but
he was my friend according to me.
Yeah, not my friend.
He'd rip my head off.
Not my friend.
If I had the ring.
Yeah. I'm just. We got a Rangers fan. I'm tired of the Rangers having no foot speed. Welcome to the party, bro.
Hey, I'm tired of the Leafs having no foot speed.
Look, the NHL is not a foot speed world for some reason. Unless you're the Colorado Avalanche and you're the best team in the league, then other teams just go, "Nah." I've said this before, but a couple of people I know who work for smart NHL teams have said, I cannot, especially with regards to the draft, they're like, I simply cannot believe that the rest of the league isn't catching on to what we're doing after like a decade of it. Like, it's
because they don't care.
I know, but it's just really funny that other teams are like, aren't you curious at how we're so good at this kind of thing? Like, you don't bother to really like lean into the same things or steal our ideas. You just kind of like let us do whatever we want, and we're all the better for it. And they're usually some of the best teams in the league. So I don't know. Clearly something's going on, and maybe the Rangers for the future. Again, Chris Drury, if you want to give me a phone call, maybe modernizing things a little bit and trying to copy some of the really good teams out there might do you good.
But I don't think that'll happen because this league's kind of stupid.
Kind of sometimes. Hard not to see some first half Nestrashil parallels with Burzkowns and less skill. I mean, kind of, yeah. I think Nestrashil's like an offensive winger with a bit of a mean streak to him. Burzkowns is more of just like a pressure absorbing center. Like, it's like if you don't get a Savanto and you are patient, you can get a Burzkowns later, and they're kind of similar-ish. In some areas, I think Burzkowns might be like, his board work is really like, if the NHL was strictly played like in the corners, I mean, to some coaches and GMs, maybe they do think it is 100% of the time played in the corners, you would think. But if that's all you really cared about, Burzkowns might be a first-round pick. Like, he's that good in that area. Like, he's just a tank, getting his bum in the way and creating room and trying to extend play in the offensive zone and all that stuff. He's really good at it, and he's a pretty good open ice skater too. But like, I do see like the storyline parallel in terms of slower first half, building and building and building. Next thing you know, people love him by the end of the year. Maybe that's the case as it was with an Nestrashil. But Burzkowns, yeah, we'll see. I like him a lot, though. I would love to see that happen because I'm a fan of him. And I was pretty early to the party, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Good player. Probably this. Oh, Tom Wilson, the same impact as Dale Hunter. Yeah, I mean, probably. Dale Hunter was pretty dirty pretty much his whole career. I feel like Tom Wilson has kind of cooled off a little bit on the really greasy stuff. Still a crazy physical player. Like, that's, huge, but
he's still Tom Wilson.
Like, a lot of the time,
win the fantasy championship last year.
Yeah, like, I feel like over the last 5 or 10 years, like, Wilson, maybe not 10, but 5 at least, like, Tom Wilson, it's like a lot of the stuff you see where it's like, oh my God, Tom Wilson did this, and you look at it and it's like a clean hit that just obliterated a guy. You just kind of sit back and you go, yeah, you don't see hits like that anymore.
You'd be cheering if that was your team.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, they're not generally, like, I don't think they're very often like, oh my God, what a greaseball type plays. I could be wrong, missing some, but I feel like he's kind of cleaned up his act a little bit in a but I don't think Dale Hunter ever did that. I'm trying to think of a guy he kind of might be more like, maybe a John LeClaire type. He was a bit of a nut. Rod Brindamore, perhaps, one of those like the Legion of Boom guys, or the Legion of Doom, whatever they called it in Philly in those days. Anyway, Canada seems to have their first line set as Wilson, McDavid, Celebrini. Honestly, I get that. I fully understand that first line, man. I don't know if I would stick with it long term, but I get the appeal. Wilson, you just you give McDavid the puck. That's your job. If you have the puck, give it to McDavid or give it to Celebrini and just forecheck, bro. Like, just go nuts, go ham. You're the sort of number 3 on that line, and I think that makes a lot of sense because Celebrini can finish, McDavid can finish, Wilson could even finish for you if you need him to. I get it. I was arguing with my friend about the Phil Kessel thing and didn't know how much he produced in international competition. I'd say maybe a much later induction in a week class. I agree. I honestly, like, now that we were kind of joking about it and I think about it more, you know what? Like, let's see. NHL players, I'm going to Google this. NHL players with 3 or more Stanley Cups. I want to see how many players there are that most Stanley Cups won in a career. So,
and let's remove everything. Okay, not remove everything, but like, let's make this.
This might turn into an
not
AI
the 19.
Yeah,
no, but like not the 1940s and 60s. Like, let's do it a little more modern.
Or more Stanley Cups since 1967. Since the 1967 expansion.
That's fine. That's actually a fine number to do because that's when they went above 6 teams.
Let's see what it says. I mean, there's probably going to be a lot of Edmonton Oilers on here, right? Like,
oh, of course. It's going to be dominated by Edmonton Oilers.
Okay. Well, it won't make one for me itself.
It hates you. You said too much. You didn't say Gavin McKenna's number 1, so it doesn't respect your opinion.
I mean, like, there's a lot of Habs in here from the 60s and 70s. Lemaire, Savard, Lapointe, Robinson, all like 6. A couple guys have 8 Stanley Cups in that stretch. Mark Messier has 6. Bob Gainey 5. Esa Tikkanen 5. But let's see, who has won 3 Stanley? There's only been 198 players total ever with 3 Stanley Cups.
Well, that's a lot.
I mean, I guess out of all of the players that have ever played in the league, like,
but it's a lot.
Yeah, I guess. Vic Lynn has 3. So if Vic Lynn has 3, all with Toronto, and he's not in the Hall of Fame, then maybe it's just not meant to be for Phil Kessel. But
no, okay. How many points does Phil Kessel have? Because that's what actually matters.
It's true. All right, this is just not helping me. All right.
I'm gonna look it up.
How AI somehow it's funny in the finance bro world. It's AI is somehow going to replace everyone and destroy every business that exists, but it also can't do anything and it's useless. So make that make sense to me, because it just couldn't do that for me. It just was like, I'm confused. I don't know what you mean by since the expansion era. Are you talking about different teams? What about guys with different teams or one team? Or I'm just like, just give me a friggin' list, buddy. Anyway.
I'm being stupid.
Yeah, it's like,
come on, AI.
Yeah, I'm artificially intelligent.
We know.
Top 5 all-time Glebs. Ooh, that's a good question. let's see if I Google the word Gleb. Gleb Savchenko is a dancer and a choreographer. He is on Dancing with the
Never
Stars.
mind. He's 8 points shy.
8 points shy of what? Oh, 1,000?
Yep. Can't be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. The Gleb in Ottawa, the neighborhood is pretty neat.
You want to know something crazy?
No.
Austin Matthews has more goals than Phil Kessel ever had.
That is pretty crazy.
Yep, he has more goals than Phil Kessel ever had. So everybody, you can shove it up your butt about Austin Matthews not being amazing.
Elite,
all right,
elite. He's an elite prospect. I mean, yeah, Gleb Trikozov's still got to be on that list. There's a lot of Glebs.
But he does have over 1,000 games played, so that does bode well in his favor. Like sometimes they'll. Honestly, I would vote for Phil Kessel just because it'd be fun.
Just to see the what's it called? Just to see the speech. I just want to see the speech. Does Pavel Flugelberg count as a Gleb because the word Gleb is in his name? He's a pretty good player out of Finland for 2028. He's pretty good, but he's not named Gleb, but the word Gleb appears in his last name. Maybe that helps. Anywho. Oh my goodness, we caught up on chat and it's only 9:13. We must not be very entertaining tonight. Gee whiz.
Or they're just loving our stupid conversation so much that they
maybe
have nothing to say.
Maybe. I mean, look, like,
that could also be part of it, right?
It could very well be a part of it. It very well could be. I don't know. I've been talking so much. AJ, is there anything you wanna yell and scream about? You know,
not particularly. I feel like I yell and scream about everything that I need to.
Great.
Just because, like, you know, I get to say I get to dunk on whatever it is I want to dunk on. I find a way to do it.
Yes.
Fired for living, fire Berube. Is that this good?
Yeah, play all the hits, man. Play all the hits.
Those are the hits, but like that's it. Like that's all I can say, really. Like, it's not a tremendous amount. Like, also the Olympics are going on, and there's just not a lot of things for us to talk about in regards to. Yeah, and also I'm not going to pretend that I haven't watched a ton of hockey this year because I just haven't. You know, I'm responsible now. I have a job, so I have things I have to do. But right. I wish I had more time to do all these things. So, what do you want to talk about, Will? Why don't we just have fun? Why don't we just go off on it? That's bull crap. You know how to have fun. You know how to have fun. Come on.
Well, geez, I'm on the spot now. I don't know.
Yeah, don't put me on the spot. I'll put you on the spot.
Oh boy. Why the hell is Sweden and Finland at 1 p.m. local time? It makes no sense when France and Switzerland is at 4. I don't know, man. I didn't organize the Olympics.
Because they hate you.
I'm not Italian enough. I'm not Italian. It's probably what the AI told them to do. The AI just was probably like, just do this. Like, you know?
Honestly, yeah.
Probably. Some AI scheduling software that was developed in a week by some 21-year-old in his dorm room that the Milan Olympics were like, wow, this is so affordable. They probably were like, just schedule the whole thing. I'm trying to think
of what would be the most Italian AI name that I can think of. All right, I got to ask ChatGPT.
You're going to ask AI. Yeah, okay. Italian AI names. Pizza something.
No, it wouldn't be like that.
Pizza.I, so it's AI at the end. Pizza.I. Pits.ai. There you go.
No.
Pits.ai. Spaghetti. No, never mind. I'm trying to think of ways you could shoehorn the.
But why AI. Use your brain when you can just use ChatGPT? Like that's.
Well, I mean, I don't.
Isn't that the point of AI?
I don't have my AI software of choice in front of me. I got mad at it after it couldn't give me a list of who's won 3 or more Stanley Cups. I'm also like, I'm still hung up. Also, over the last few minutes, I've been hung up on who else would go into the NHL sort of Hall of Vibes. with Phil Kessel until he ends up in the Hall of Fame, and with Tom Wilson until he might end up in the Hall of Fame.
All right, so we can turn this into our topic if you really want to.
I think there's a lot of good options, and I can't because just like Seth Jarvis maybe could go in there. I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he deserves some recognition for the vibes. Artur Zerbe, I think Artur Zerbe goes in there. Darren Pang.
Ilya Bryzgalov.
Ilya Bryzgalov for sure goes in there. You know, the universe so humongous big, right?
Solar system so humongous big.
Solar system so humongous.
You're so tiny.
Yeah. Solar system so humongous. Let's see.
I love that they have like Peter Laviolette like throwing to him in that that documentary where he's just like, yeah, he's an interesting guy. And then Ilya Bryzgalov comes on screen with like his eyes wide, so excited to talk about. Dude, we are just small point in universe.
Caring about stuff is hot, man. Caring about stuff is cool. And we need to recapture that. Ilya Bryzgalov talking about the solar system. Ooh, let's go, buddy. Let's go. So humongous. Anyway, moving on. I was required to use ChatGPT for an assignment tonight, and it was awesome to go through and count how many sources it just made up. I love doing that too. I use Perplexity because it amalgamates a bunch of different models, which I would rather do. And it's actually really good. But some of the sources that it fetches for me, it's like, all right, come on, you got to know better than this. It's like old articles from like 2012 written by some schmuck as like an opinion page in the Washington Post. And it's like, all right, that's not factual information all of the time, especially with regards to how things are today. So let's calm down. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Soon enough, it'll like quote Nick Kyprios as an official source.
Right. You know, it's like, what can William Nylander fetch in a trade? And it's like Nick Ritchie and Brandon Montour, you know, it's like some nonsense like that. And you're like, maybe not in 2025, considering I think Nick Ritchie is playing in like Slovakia now or something like that. Where is Nick Ritchie playing? Let's play the game. Where is Nick Ritchie playing hockey this year?
Where is that terrible hockey player playing?
Oh, okay. I'll give you. Oh, okay. This will be a fun one. I want you to guess.
Oh no!
I want you to guess where Nick Ritchie is playing hockey this year. Oh my
Ukraine.
God. Kind of close.
Belarus.
No, I wish, but no, he's not that desperate. It's funnier.
Lithuania.
Ooh, that's a good guess too, but no.
Estonia.
Colder. I would say colder, yeah.
Germany.
Oh, you're giving him too much credit, son.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'll give you a hint. It's a former Soviet republic. That is not Kazakhstan.
Damn, that was my next guess.
It's not Kazakhstan. Think bigger. Not geographically, by the way.
So former Soviet republic.
Former Soviet republic. I'll give you a better hint if you know
like
your history.
Romania.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
He's playing hockey for SC Zvezda in Romania.
Oh my God.
He is there. He's played 9 games and he's already their 5th leading scorer. He's got 16 points in 9 games with them. And
he's terrible. He was terrible when he was on Toronto too, man. Like he was just so bad.
Well, he's good enough to be good in Romania, so there's that too.
He's like Nick Kyprios is so insulting, man. Like this guy is an insult to intelligence.
Someone in the chat suggested Turkmenistan. Now that would have been magical. I would have loved that, but no. Unfortunately, it's Romania. But he didn't get a job there until what looks like December. So pretty wild times. That guy last year played in Slovakia and played for 2 different teams. For the one team he played for, he was over a point a game and had 100 penalty minutes in 19 games. That's 5 penalty minutes a game. That's a fight every game on average. That's crazy. That must have been so many game misconducts. Wow. Well, I guess.
Yeah, but bro sucks.
Could have just been 4, but who knows? That's wild. Nick Ritchie, man. Whew. What a time to be alive, eh? Remember when he was a Toronto Maple Leaf? I'm sure you loved that.
He was so bad.
And then the Arizona Coyotes got him, and he instantly scored 10 goals for them in 20 games.
He was still so bad.
He was
I
back,
don't
baby.
care.
He was so back, and then nobody believed in him. It's unfortunate. I don't like throwing water on guys who are better at hockey than me.
No, I'm not throwing. It's not me trying to throw shade at him. I'm trying to throw shade at Nick Kypreos for being a complete moron.
Shoehorn that one in. Right.
Look, Nick Ritchie, I have no problem with you. I have a problem with Nick Kypreos. Wrong Nick in the crossfire.
Right. Yeah. Why not?
Nick Kypreos is a certified goof. All right.
I mean, you say he would deal with that by punching you in the head.
Well,
which we all know.
I blocked him from walking onto an elevator by accident. So
was it by accident? Was it really by accident?
It was by accident. Him and Justin Bourne were finishing up their terrible show, and I happened to be coming in to do the playoff game. Like I think it was game 3 for Leafs and Lightning in 2023.
Right.
And like I was standing right by the elevator because nobody ever comes out of the elevators because there's like 10 of them and they pop out. And I'm like, wow. So I literally I normally like to stand back so people can get out of the elevator, but because I was so confident nobody was going to come out of the elevator, I just stood right in front of it. And yeah, I was like, oh, that's Nick Kypreos. I hate that guy.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I've never done that though. Yeah. I know this is a hot debate, but I don't think Marc-Andre Fleury as an individual talent should be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, but he has the hardware. Ooh, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, man.
It's hard to argue against it.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against it. Like he is.
I understand where you're coming from. I get it. Trust me, I get it. But like,
I also am old. I'm also old enough to remember when he was a rookie in the NHL and people were ready to throw him out so fast. Like the Pittsburgh Penguins were an embarrassment at that time, and this was like pre-Crosby, pre-Malkin, and I think he was like 19, and they threw him in the NHL, and he sucked. And everybody, I remember, and he was also the guy who handed the U.S. their first World Junior Gold medal ever by shooting it off of a defenseman in his own end, and it went in the net, and they lost. Well, they eventually lost. I think that was Patrick O'Sullivan who scored a goal against him then. And that was a moment where I legitimately will never forget it, and I cried. I was like 6 years old, and I cried watching that because I could not believe my eyeballs. And I don't think I had ever remembered Canada.
Baby. Don't cry, even if you're a child.
I don't think I had ever experienced Canada losing a World Junior medal at that point in my life that I remembered, because I don't think they lost many in the 90s. But in any case, nonetheless, or I guess that would have been like 2000. Anyway, Marc-Andre Fleury, though, he went through a lot in his career, man. Like the Penguins were an embarrassment when he showed up, and he was terrible for a few years, and then they got good, and he was good, and they won Stanley Cups, and he's won multiple Stanley Cups now. And I don't know, man. He's been to a Stanley Cup final with Vegas, and I don't know, man. I feel like he should be in there. I don't know how you like. If Shea Weber is a Hall of Famer, then I feel like you kind of have to make Marc-Andre Fleury a Hall of Famer, I think, right?
I get where you're coming from, though, but like,
what's the
point? What's the point of not?
He's not flawless as an applicant, I don't think, to the Hall of Fame, but I think he gets in. If not now, eventually.
He will.
Yeah, eventually.
He will.
Like Joe Thornton, right? Like Joe Thornton is in the Hall of Fame, and it's like he never won a cup, but like he probably should be, you know.
Well, Matt Sundin's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Matt Sundin's in the Hall of Fame. It's like,
and he deserves to be there.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was dragging the lifeless corpse of the Toronto Maple Leafs around for like 15 straight years.
Yeah, you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame if you do that.
They had a
case in point, Phil Kessel.
They had a good line mate for Matt Sundin for like 2 years, and Alexander McGillney, and that's it. So you know,
hey, Alex Steen was okay.
And then what happened?
Then they traded him for Lee Stepniak.
They traded him and somebody for was it Carlo Koliakovo. It was him and Carlo Koliakovo for Lee Stempniak. I remember that trade. Going, who the hell is Lee Stempniak? I was working a shift at the McMaster gym. That's what I was doing.
I knew he was. But
I looked and I was like, wow, he's got a point a game every game this year. But last year he had like 50 points. and they traded a 50-point guy and a good young defenseman for him. Interesting.
I knew who he was because, like, when I was a kid, I tried to learn at least 3 players on every team. Because then I'd this is gonna sound sad, but I'd pretend to play the game myself.
Same.
And I'd only do 3 players on each team, and obviously the Leafs would win every single time because I'm a child. That's what you're gonna do as a child.
82-0, 16-0 every year. That's the way she's gonna go. Yeah, no, I get that.
Absolutely.
I don't judge. I get that. The 2022 or 2023 inductees blew the door open for goalies. Who were those guys? Hall of Fame, I guess hockey. Hall of Fame. Oh my god. Fame inductees 2022, 2023. Oh,
you know what's crazy? I might have gone to the Hockey Hall of Fame more than everybody combined who's watching today. And I'm not trying to be cute about this. This is honestly the truth. Because when I was a kid, we did, like, my sports camp would always go there at least twice every summer. And I was in that sports camp from the age of 6 to the age of 12. And then I was a volunteer for that sports camp a couple of times as well. So I've been like 18 times.
I have been maybe 4 or 5. I like the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's kind of cool. Like for a tourist attraction in Toronto, there's honestly not as many as you might think, but that's a good one. There's that, the aquarium. I'd argue that even the facility in the Roundhouse across the street from the aquarium, there's like a sort of Dave & Buster's thing in there, which is kind of fun. It's not a tourist attraction, but it's fun and it's relatively affordable. But I guess you could go up the CN Tower, but like there's not much up there. You just get a view.
There's a restaurant.
There is a restaurant.
If you want to.
I did have a glass of wine. I did have a glass of wine at night last time I went up to the top of the CN Tower, and that was pretty nice. It cost me $20, but it was pretty fun.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, dude. $20.
I know. But like, welcome to the world. I only did it once, but it was fun.
And that'll be the only time you ever do it.
Exactly. That is the only time I'll ever do it. But yeah, in terms of like tourist destinations, like. The Hockey Hall of Fame is kind of cool, even if you're not really a hockey fan.
Yeah.
But other than that, you just go to restaurants and eat food probably. I don't know. Get on the streetcar and see how far you can go. ride the new Line 5 Eglinton. Ride the new Line 5. It opened.
Wait, did they open Line 5?
Yeah.
Or are we talking about Line 6?
No,
because
the Eglinton line opened on the weekend. I watched a video of a guy riding the whole line and give extreme detail into the whole procedure and why.
Was it terrible?
No, he said it was fine. It was good. Like it ran fine and everything's fine.
I don't believe it.
It seems all right. Like the thing.
I don't believe
here's
it
a funny one.
Fine.
This one. I don't know why I'm swinging my file around. This is for my 3D prints to file down my prints, but. Anyway, here's a funny note that I didn't realize until I saw this video, but there is a station if you don't live in Toronto, the entire stretch of Eglinton Avenue, which is a pretty major street in North Toronto, now has light rail. So it stretches from like Scarborough basically all the way to Humber College, I think, which is far. And this thing has been under construction since I was like in high school. Like this has been forever.
Yeah, and when I was in high school, it was still under construction.
To the point where they stopped giving dates of when it was going to be done. Like they were hitting so many roadblocks and snags that they legitimately were just like, we don't know when it's going to be done. We'll tell you when it's ready. And then like 3 weeks ago, they're like, we're opening it in 3 weeks. So it's like, great, sounds good. But one stop along the line was actually called the Science Center stop because it was set next to the Science Center.
Where the Ontario Science Center was, and now it doesn't exist anymore?
Yes, and because of a buildup of snow on the roof of the Science Center, which supposedly would have only cost a few $1 million to clean up for the government, Doug Ford chose to close the whole thing and just take it away from us. And so this was done relatively recently, and they had already built the station called Science Center. All the signs were already put up. Everything was already put up, and part of the reason it was delayed was because there was no longer a science center, and the company that builds the public transit has a rule that says every stop has to be named after either a street or a landmark nearby. So if the landmark gets removed, you have to rename the stop. So they took down all of the signs and rebuilt them. And the other thing too is on that station, it's also, there's an outdoor area that you go into that is enclosed that has big glass walls on it, right? Like you see on all modern buildings. And on the glass, they were going to stencil in Science Center, like in these big letters stenciled in, and they had started that project. So they had to remove the glass with the S and the C and the I on it. They've removed all that glass, and now there's just a big black vinyl banner that just says Don Valley on it, because that's what they changed the name of the stop to, even though it's not in the Don Valley. It's not even in a valley. It's at the top of the Don Valley between the two forks of the Don River in Toronto.
So it's just 19 kilometers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. It's a 19-kilometer long light rail, which is desperately needed. Eglinton has been a nightmare for a long, long time.
Yes, I know. I live close to Eglinton.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Eglinton is insane. And that's saying something because it's Toronto. But yeah, dude, that was, I didn't know that. And it's like everybody's like, oh, this thing's so delayed and all this stuff. And it's like, well, something as simple as just the government being like, hey, that Science Center that's really cool and everybody likes, yeah, instead of paying to clean it up, we're going to close it entirely and maybe move it to Ontario Place one day when it's done being built, whenever that is. You know, it's like, okay. And now you have to like change all of this stuff last minute, and there were all kinds of things that just delayed this stupid thing, but it's very necessary and it's now open. So that's a good thing. And apparently it is functioning quite well.
So what, this line mainly is like, cause it doesn't come out west where I am. Like it doesn't go nearly as west as I am, but it connects.
I thought it did. Like I thought you're out relatively close to where it ends, like Humber College. Obviously you don't have to dox yourself.
Humber College is a different line.
Oh, right. That's the Finch one. That's the one up way in the north. Right.
Yeah. It's a different line.
Yeah, different line.
Because they closed the Scarborough line.
Yes. That's
the original line 3.
Now they're building one subway stop as an extension for like $1 quadrillion.
Are they? Are they going beyond Kennedy?
Yeah. I think they're building a couple of stops, and it's like a...
No, but they had those couple of stops and they don't exist anymore.
But those were light rail. And those tracks aren't usable anymore. It used to be the Scarborough LRT. Like it used to be a light rail through Scarborough, and there was a train derailment, and now they don't use it anymore, and it's never going to get used again. So they're building a subway instead.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think it's a couple of stops, but it's been like a nightmare for like a decade because of course it is. But anyway,
so they just hate Etobicoke. I see. Cool.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Cool. I love that. My home is not. No, honestly, it's fine. Like where I'm located, there are 3 buses I can take to get home.
Right.
Which is pretty awesome. It's really 4 or 5 if you want to consider the A routes, B routes, and expresses that you can take. So like my intersection is well covered.
Right. Well, mine is not. I live in the suburbs, and there maybe is a bus that comes by every 45 minutes where I live. So
that's terrible. My bus comes.
I'm half joking. Minutes. It's a little bit better than that, but it's not too much better.
But you have a GO station, right? Like you go to the GO.
Oh, no, that's fine. The GO works just fine. Yeah, it's pretty close.
Unless it, well,
the last few weeks it's been a disaster. Again, if you live in Toronto, you know. If you know, you know. But it seems to be better now. But anyway, we're way off track here. I just had to get that out there because figured you might want to know.
Well, do we have chat?
Yes, we've caught up. There's a backlog here. We can work through.
Oh,
this.
Okay, nice.
I did look it up. Someone mentioned the 2022 and 2023 classes of Hall of Famers kind of ruined it for goalies, and I think I'm kind of inclined to agree, only in like 1 or 2 cases. But Luongo went in, which I think is fine, and and Lundqvist went in, which I think is fine. But Tom Barrasso and Mike Vernon went in. Not so sure about those ones. I mean, maybe Barrasso, but like, I don't know.
Whatever, man. Yeah,
I still think Fleury should be in there regardless, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Uh, Chat Spaghetti. Oh, stop it! Get out of here. Um,
We're talking about
just
Italian
Italian
AIs.
AI companies. It's Chat Spaghetti. Um, I I hate that. I hate that a lot. Actually, I want to just. I'm gonna shut the business down. I quit. I'm done. That's it. You've done it finally, Mark. You did it finally.
You've killed it.
You've
Will
killed
doesn't
me.
want to do this
You've
anymore.
killed me.
It wasn't a question.
He's in the car.
Or was it?
He's in the car coming over from some ski trip with all his friends or something, or his family or his whatever. And I'm here. He just ruined my life just by being in the car.
No, that's it. That's the end.
That's yeah.
It's not somebody calling you a naughty
beta
word
soy loser. Yeah.
or an R. You know what?
Well,
well, that's happened.
It has happened. I have seen that happen. Yeah.
That's the only reason why I'm mentioning it.
A guy named Gleb's going to be picking up the slack for me. Saw Wiggle Sorensen played for Sweden for the under-18s in the Five Nations. Did I see those games? I saw two of them. Maybe two. It was a little while ago, but at least two. I mean, that's why he's kind of ranked as high as he is for me. I thought, like, they put him at first line center playing with Elton Hermansen, and I think he did pretty well. He looked really, really good. Really, really explosive and skilled. Definitely unrefined. There's definitely like hockey sense stuff, and definitely some level of like puck moving immaturity, I would say, in his game, where, you know, he's definitely used to being the big dog and doing a lot on his own. But I still think, like, between what I've seen of him at Division 2, what I've seen of him at the U18 Five Nations, I imagine he'll be at the U18s in April or whatever it is. Between all of those things put together, and again, it's stupid, but you got to go off what you get. The one game he played at the U18 level in Sweden, like, a bunch of us watched that game in the server, and he was great. I thought he could have come away with a lot more than 3 points in that game, and definitely should be going on loan somewhere, certainly a lot higher up than he is, because he wouldn't look out of place. So I have him ranked where I have him, just because every time I've seen him at all angles, at all levels, he's been really, really good.
Will loves him, and if you don't agree, you hate us.
Right. If you don't agree, then you hate sunshine and rainbows and flowers and babies, and yeah, there's just no hope for you. Got to be careful throwing the word goof around in the country. Well, maybe, but
why? Nick Kyprios is a goof.
Them's fighting words. You call me a goof? Listen, you goof.
He's a goof.
You goof. I love the word goof. It's there's so much goofery that you can just, like, oh, it's just so good.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Please tell me. Am I wrong?
Well, I mean, look, he has a much better paying job than I do, and that's what status. That's all you need as a status symbol in life. So I'm not going to throw.
Good for him. I don't care.
I'm not going to throw stones.
He's still a goofball.
I mean, yes, he is a goof, you know. But goofs are. You know what? I at least find it entertaining. You know,
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't find it entertaining to hear that he hates Nick Robertson every 10 minutes. I don't find it entertaining that he thinks William Nylander's too soft. I don't find it entertaining that this moron goes on television and spews complete nonsense and riles up fans in the complete wrong way. He's a moron, and I wish he wasn't on television because it's annoying. It's annoying to deal with people who don't have the same opinion as me, okay? Yeah, exactly, I don't like it.
Yeah, AJ struggles with people who aren't like him.
That's not entirely true. It's just I've had enough of hearing Nick Kyprios, okay?
Oh. He has been kicking around for a long time.
Too long. He's been around since like 2012. Since from what I remember.
Yeah. I forgot about Andre Kasha. He's in the Olympics too. So former Toronto Maple Leaf legend Nick Ritchie is in Romania, and former Leaf legend Andre Kasha is somehow still playing hockey, and he's in the Olympics. Yeah, I liked him too. He's a good, fun player. I think the only reason he really kind of didn't stick was because he was always hurt, like dangerously hurt.
Yes.
So the fact that he's still around, and kicking around is great. That's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot he existed, but I
forgot about that guy. Even with the Ducks, I remember him being quite a player.
Good. He was a good player.
He was good.
Good player.
A
player that is more deserving. It was more deserving of a spot on the Leafs than. I won't say it.
Someone brought up a really fun point here. Did the I like this. Did the Utah Mammoth threaten Dmitry Simashev by raising his hometown if he stops producing in the AHL? That is a story that, like, for me, I should be way more all over. But Dmitry Simashev, after starting the season in Utah and not looking too out of place, ended up getting sent down to Tucson, where he has been playing a lot of minutes, I believe. And he's up to 23 points in 23 games. Let me just look, because I want to make sure.
That's awesome.
He had in the last 1, 2, 3 combined seasons in Russia, he had 6, 7, 17, 19. He had 29 points over the last 3 full seasons in Russia. And he's up to 23 and 23 in the AHL. This is why I simply do not care about people who score and going automatically they're good. Like, I had Simashev top 10 when he was a draft eligible. I thought the offense in his game was not incredible, but there were definitely signs of something maybe coming at some point. Obviously, I mean, I think a point a game is a little bit nuts, but like, this is why it's like, I don't care really what your output is. I care how you do it. And with Simashev, it was always
smash.
Yeah, Simashev, it was always about really, 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 really strong defensive support and really, really, really strong defense as a whole. And I mean, yeah, he's been having a heck of a year. I'm happy about that. It makes me look smart, so I'm good with that.
So we agree with it.
I should pull up the video of that I took of them announcing him in Montreal, or was it Nashville? I think it was Nashville. And the crowd was like stunned. They were like, who the hell is this guy? And then they saw like the stat card and he had like 2 points and they're like, what the hell? The Arizona Coyotes did it again. They screwed it up again. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there like 100 yards away from the stage and going like, yay! You know, like the one guy way off in the back being like, yeah. And then they drafted Daniil Boot later on and everyone's like, oh my God, these guys are really stupid, drafting 2 teammates from the same Russian junior program. And I'm sitting there in the back going, yay!
That's my boy. That's my boy.
People did the same thing with Moritz Seider. Exactly. They did exactly the same thing with Seider. I've learned my lesson. Look, I love Simashev. I love him. They say I don't like big players, but I love Simashev, Dmitry Simashev. Oh, very nice. I mean, he went ahead of Matvei Michkov, and I think the only person who wasn't too surprised about that was me, because I remember Simashev playing Michkov in the KHL, and he pummeled him. I remember there was one moment Michkov tried to carry the puck out of the corner on his wing.
Did he go above?
I think he went a couple picks before. I think he went like...
They went close.
Simashev went 6th, and I think...
Oh, and Michkov went 7?
Yeah, Michkov, I think, went 7 or 8. But I remember Simashev just lining him up, and it was one of those hits where we saw Gleb Pugachev do it actually earlier this year. He hits the guy so hard that they end up horizontal in the air before they hit the ice. And those outside of like a stick flying through the air, way up in the air, flying out of someone's hands or something, might be one of my favorite plays in hockey, is when someone gets hit so hard. Obviously, I hope it's safe, but it's hit so hard that they end up like this in the air and then fall to the ice flat on their back. It's great. And Simashev did that to Michkov, and I went, NHL scouts are probably going to see that, and they're definitely going to think too much about it.
They're going to wet their pants.
They're going to do damage seeing that, and here we are. And, and apparently Michkov is bad, and Simashev can do no wrong. Yes, indeed. Conservative governments removing science-related things, never, yeah. Oh yeah, and that's true actually. The Ford family, for anyone who doesn't know, Rob Ford was the mayor of Toronto. I'm sure some of you remember that saga. It put Toronto on the map for a while. But his brother is now the premier, basically the governor of Ontario, if you're an American and don't know anything about Canada, which fair enough. But like Doug Ford is the older brother, the big brother of Rob Ford. May he rest in peace, the crazy, crazy misunderstood man that he was. Rob Ford, though, I remember it was literally the day after he got elected mayor. Toronto had, I believe, 4 light rail lines that were fully paid for and budgeted by the provincial government and ready to go into the ground. It was 4 light rail lines, and 2 of them now are what exists. And this was in, I think, Ford became mayor in like 2010, maybe something like this. So this
oh god, I was in middle. I know I was in middle school when this happened.
Bro, I voted in that election. That was the first election I ever voted in.
That's nuts.
That was the first election I ever voted in, was the Toronto mayoral election where Rob Ford became mayor. Honestly, I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I do not remember who I voted for. I think it might have been Rob Ford. But but I mean, like, this guy, man, you got to go look at some of the highlights of his career, because holy smokes, did he ever have some bangers. He had my, honestly, favorite media moment, which is too raunchy for me to say live on the internet. But one of my favorite news moments of my entire life.
Smoked a lot of it. Yeah. You remember that?
It ended with, I have plenty to eat at home. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
That is my favorite TV moment I think I maybe ever seen. But the guy canceled 4 light rail projects day one of being mayor, and the city is still recovering from that decision, I would say. They were ready to go into the ground, and he said, I want subways. We're only going to build subways. And I think they started a subway extension with him as mayor that's now in existence, but that's it. And it did not go anywhere.
Line 4?
Out to the one that goes out to Vaughan now, I think, was what he pushed for.
Oh, that's not even, but that's an extension. That's
exactly. But like, that was, I think, a thing he wanted to do. And he also said Scarborough needed a replacement for their light rail transit, but he said he wanted to make it a subway, and literally everybody was like, that's going to cost bajillions of dollars when we can just rebuild the existing light rail infrastructure and put new trains on it. And he's like, nope, it's got to be subway, underground only. We're not blocking any traffic with no stupid streetcars. And here we are.
Streetcars are stupid. They are stupid.
I disagree.
You like the streetcar?
As a cost for the city with my tax money, my former tax money, I would rather have streetcars and just people drive less. Subways are insanely expensive. It's ridiculous how expensive they are. They're great, but building one now is, you're asking for like a political firestorm there. It's pretty much light rail or bust, and I don't know. I think they incorporate it pretty well. I mean, driving in Toronto on its own is psychotic. So
I don't drive.
Yeah, driving in Toronto is insane. I don't know. I don't mind the streetcar. It's not so bad. Oh yeah, the video of Rob Ford falling while hiking the football, that's also a really good one.
Of course it is.
I mean, it's amazing. Like, I must say though, like, the more you learn about Rob Ford, and like the more, you know, like it,
he's not a bad guy. He's kind of endearing.
I do feel bad for him. It really felt like Rob Ford had a complex about him where he was just trying to impress his family or something. Like, he was the youngest kid in the family. Everybody in his family was super successful. He just wanted to play football really growing up. And, you know, like, his older brother was like reportedly and allegedly a hash dealer at the high school, but now he's premier. But like,
yes, now he is premier.
But like Rob just had his demons and his problems and all of that stuff, but I think he just wanted to be loved. And to a lot of people, especially out in your neck of the woods, AJ, he is dearly loved. There are R.I.P. Rob Ford billboards to this day at the side of the 400 highway
on the highway,
Toronto, which is hilarious to me. It's hilarious. Like, it's hilarious. So like,
it's beyond hilarious. It's incredible.
Yeah. You know what? Like, I know a lot of people really don't like the guys in that family and all that stuff, and there's reasons for that, for sure, you know. But at the same time,
I don't like Doug.
I sympathize. I sympathize with Rob's plight. Because
when I was a kid, I didn't. I just thought he was a complete moron.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying he's not a bit of a moron, but like a lovable moron. It kind of was like, how did you become mayor? And also,
well, it's because you voted for him, Will.
I said I may have. I don't remember.
I can't. I don't remember if I did or not.
18 years ago, but I'm pretty sure I voted for Rob Ford.
I don't remember.
Oh, you know what? I actually did. I did. And I know why now. I remember why. It's because the other guy running in that election was named George Smitherman, which loser name from the get-go. Like, I'm George Smitherman and I want to be like, shut up and go home. Go home. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like, you're basically saying I'm a giant dweeb. Right. So
yeah, well, and you're a giant dweeb.
No. Not like this guy. Not like this guy. Because I'll tell you why. Because he went to my sister's high school as a campaign stop. Number one, an all-girls school, and they're all children, so kind of creepy, a little weird. Why are you there? Number one. Especially because, like, what, you're going to talk to the parents as they pick up their kids? That's a little weird. But never mind. He showed up, and he was, like, touring, like, a science fair or something, if I remember correctly. And my sister said she met him for, like, 30 seconds and said he was the most boring person ever. Like, just like, think of the most boring American Democrat you can with no riz whatsoever. It was like that. Like, he was kind of like Chuck Schumer, just kind of like there and like, yes, this is very interesting. Wow. Yes,
wow, great.
And then I think she said that she was completely left, unpalatable by him when he was like, I want to take a picture with those 3 girls because it'll look the best for the newsletter or something along those lines. And she was like, I just thought that was really gross and weird. And then when I heard her say that, I went, yeah, I don't know about that guy. That guy might seem like a bit of a skis ball. And he ended up losing to Rob Ford. And when you lose an election to Rob Ford, that's an interesting thing to put on your resume, man. Because Rob Ford was a goof. You want to talk goofs? That guy was a goof, man.
Yeah, he was a goof. I don't disagree that he was a goof.
But I would rather vote for a goof that at least was like, gonna to say anything about the Fords. They are willing to get in someone's face and be like, why are you spending so much friggin' money on this stupid thing?
Why can't we have beers for $1?
Right. But then they'll turn around and spend like $1 billion taking down the Ontario Science Center when it would cost $60 million just to clean it up. It's like, well, and then another $100 million to redo an entire station on a subway line that's been delayed for 20 years. Anyway, but at this rate, considering the quality of opposition in this province, Rob Ford's going to be premier until I die.
Rob Ford, eh?
Or Doug Ford, sorry. Yeah, Rob Ford from beyond the grave possessing Doug Ford's body. He's going to be premier until the day I die, because apparently nobody else is a politician in this province at all, because you never hear from them, which is pretty incredible. But you never know. Never know.
Can Mark Carney also be the premier, please?
Maybe I'll be premier. What would I do if I were premier of Ontario?
Could you give me kickbacks?
Oh, dude, I'd give you the biggest sort of laid back position of all time, man.
Oh,
I'd make you like deputy.
The video editor?
I would make you, no. I'm thinking bigger than that. I'm making you like deputy assistant regional coordinator for the Timmins
County. Timmins.
No, but it's so that you don't have to do anything.
Oh, okay.
You got to go to Timmins like once a year, shake some hands, check out the water quality. You do a picture of you with like a little dipstick checking the pH of the water at the water facility. A little dipstick. And you get the picture with the local newspaper. And then off you go. And then you get to go back to your dungeon, play EU4 as much as you want, and I'll pay you $90,000 a year to do it. It'd be great.
Okay, I'm cool with $90,000.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do it. Sure. I'd hook you up, bro. If I was premier of Ontario, I'd hook you up. I'd hook up all my pals.
$90,000's cool. $90,000's cool.
Sure.
That's more money than I make. So
yeah, I'd give you a raise. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That'd be a 50% raise.
We would bet so much on Polymarket. Oh my god. That'd
be awesome.
I would be like, yo, AJ, tomorrow I'm gonna go on the news. I'm gonna go on the news tomorrow and say some crazy nonsense that like I'm gonna bet that it's gonna be like, when will Canada invade the United States? And it'll be like tomorrow. And I'll be like, Ontario's invading the United States today. And I'll say that it's going to happen until the payment pays out, the Polymarket pays out. And then I'll be like, psych, actually, we're not doing that because technically Ontario has no standing military. We have the OPP, and I'm not sending them into the U.S. But any case, if I were premier, it would be a lot of fun. Awesome. It would be a lot of fun if I were premier, I think.
I love how you're already like showing what kind of corruption we'd get up to.
Absolutely. I'd bring back the Science Center. If I brought back the Science Center, I bet people would tolerate my kind of corruption. I bet you they would.
You know what's crazy? You're probably not 100% wrong.
I would also force the city of Toronto to make College Street streetcars only and King Street cars only.
What?
Well, because you would then have an entire pedestrian corridor with, you could have bike lanes that run all the way across College with no cars. And I think that would be awesome because that street also goes in a U shape. So it cuts down from the north and across and up back up to Danforth. So that streetcar line kind of cuts across downtown and hits the Bloor line at both ends. So for me, I want a bunch of streetcars running up and down that corridor and a bunch of bikes so that there are no cars on that corridor. But then you open up King Street completely so that there's 4 lanes of road that cut across the entire city. That also goes in a U shape down from Bloor. I've thought about this. This has been in my head for like 20 years. So I think that's, if I would pull some Rob Ford tactics to piss off the Toronto city government and just do what I want them to do, because apparently you can do that too.
I guess you can.
Bring back the Science Center, change, make streetcar bike corridor through the city of Toronto, and
make Toronto great again.
Make Toronto great again. And I'd probably also get every mid-sized Ontario city mayor on a conference call and go, make your cities better because people need to live there too. And there's too many friggin' people in Toronto. So make it more livable to be in London, Ontario, please. Add some more stuff to your cities because I'll help pay for it because this is getting a little ridiculous that everybody just keeps going, no,
we'll make America pay for it.
Good point. I like that. That's a great campaign line. We're going to make Ontario great again and make the U.S. pay for it. Oh my God. Holy crap. I might become Premier of Ontario and you might become my deputy. This is crazy. We might be onto something here. Wow. Yeah, that is what Donald Trump does. I'd be the libbed up version of Donald Trump, basically. Just talking nonsense.
You'd be the champagne socialist.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Now we're talking. All right, we're going somewhere now. Who needs a 2-hour show? We're going to be here all night. We're going to be sketching this out, making up tax plans.
What a cursed episode this is, but it's awesome.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I don't know. I'm having fun. Who cares? Hockey, there's not even any NHL going on. The Olympic hockey tournament has been women so far, and I've watched a bunch of it. And I mean, Italy did win a game. The Italian women's hockey game won a game, which is pretty incredible. They beat France. But like they're the 18th ranked women's team in the world, and there's only 10 teams in the tournament. So like, good for them. That's crazy.
Really, there's only 10 teams?
I think it's only 10 or 12. I don't think it's 18. But not a ton.
Well, they got in because of the host nation. Yeah, is that?
Yeah. They're because of the host, but they won a game, man. Like that's pretty incredible. So there's your hockey content for the night. Congratulations to them. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm glad we have one vote from someone who lives in Mississippi. But you know what though? Like
for somebody who doesn't live in our
I get on the phone.
You vote that your country pays for it? Is that
Yeah. I get on the phone with Elections Ontario and I go, no matter how much I lose by, I just get on the phone with Elections Ontario and I just go, I need you to find me 1.7 million votes. I know they're there somewhere, just got to find them for me, and then I'll be premier. It will make it easy for you. We could do this the easy way or the hard way. I just need 1.7 million votes. That's all. It's not that many. So you never know, right? And then I just threaten them. And next thing I know, it's how you do things these days, right? Like you just threaten and make people cower in fear of your gargantuan ego.
When did Scouching Live become politics and financial live?
30 minutes ago. 30 minutes ago, maybe.
It's what the people want. It's what the people want.
Yeah, you give the people what they want. I mean, look, like I'm chugging away doing my day job. I'm chugging away doing the work that I do for a day job, and if people ask, I'll answer. But we're going off. This is where we go when you let the kids take control. This is where we go. So look, if that's what you like, then that's what you like. And you look, the Scouching Discord server could become an extremely valuable vessel for insider trading if I became premier, if you think about it. Like a Scouching subscription, if I were premier, for just $5 a month. Think of all the insider trading you could get. Think of all the
Yeah.
money you would make if you just gave me $5 a month.
Going to the moon.
So look, subscribe.
Give us a billion copies so we can buy 80 billion subway lines.
Because you know, yeah, like I hope you see all the links that I just put in the chat, because I want y'all to get in on this so you can fund the campaign, so we can run an independent super PAC free campaign to become premier. And
we're not going to be under a party. Like we're our own party.
Of course not. We're going to be the independent party, so that everybody thinks we're the independent candidate. But I don't know. Maybe not.
No,
that's not
the Scouch party. We're going to be a dark blue color.
Scout. There's a word here. There's a joke here somewhere.
There is, but I haven't found it yet. So
yeah, Scouch. Or I just go full irony and just be like, I just make I guess they would probably tell me I couldn't do that. Starting a party that's like the Ontario Fascist Party or something, and it's like me at the top. I don't think they would allow that.
No,
but it would be like
There's a communist party. There is
a communist party in Ontario. Yes, that is true. I remember when I was in university, in the first actual like provincial election I voted in, or it might have been a federal one. I voted in university, and we had a communist candidate come to my res building that I was in, and hand out pamphlets and stuff. And I was flipping through it, and it was like abolish money, and I was like,
what? Abolish
yeah, it was like abolish currency, and I was like,
bro,
that
you are crazy.
Look, man, like I'm pretty lived up, but that is ridiculous, man. Come on, you gotta have a little more sense than that. I think they got 120 votes in that election, and they were all definitely just the worst university students imaginable, probably voting for that guy. But I remember that very clearly. That was very funny.
That's just a terrible idea.
Well, sure, it's like, when I become premier, I want everybody to have $10 million. It's like, that's an incredibly stupid idea. But you know, there's an idea. Make the party where its main promise is to change Kitchener back to Berlin. I like that idea too. Whoever you are in the chat, you've got some good ideas tonight. That's a good one.
Yeah, you gotta be a bit older to know that.
A little bit. I mean, it used to be called Berlin until World War II, when for obvious reasons they changed it.
So we need to hire an advisor. So you're hired. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, that's true. You're an advisor. You're now the associate deputy to the Timmins County Water Quality Board with AJ.
You're my underling.
You're the underling now, and I'll give you,
even though you're probably older than me,
$87,000 in benefits a year. Take it or leave it. You get to live in Toronto, and yeah.
Can I still do my master control job?
Why would you want to do your master control job? I see. Because you get two salaries.
Yeah, I get two salaries.
If they're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
It's a benefit.
If they're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just use my vacation days to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I also agree. It was nice when we used to not have to care so much about politics. It's true. I do miss the days when politics was boring and only for the wonky numbnuts like me to just read about and then go.
We're having fun. We're having fun.
It's in a sense, politics can be fun. It's just a matter of like, what you think is fun. Some people seem to think that making people miserable is fun. I don't believe in that. Can you be appointed Secretary of State? Listen, you idiot. We don't have those here. We have parliamentary democracies. There's no Secretary of State. We have a group of people that govern as a group with a premier leading the way as one vote in the chamber. The only thing is, let's see. Here, we'll do this, right?
Just the way you said that. It better be somebody we know fairly well.
It is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Listen, what we'll do instead is we'll put you up in, I don't know, some riding that like everybody they'll just vote for whoever. We'll put you somewhere, and we'll put you up as our candidate.
Well, we'll put you up in the riding where my grandparents are in what's it called?
Kapuskasing or something like
Sealy's Bay, like a
Okay.
Sealy, whatever the Sealy's Bay riding is.
We'll find. Actually, you know what? Maybe you might be better off in some sort of urban setting. Maybe more of a place that would be more open to a candidate like us.
Sealy's Bay is not
It's probably
very urban.
yeah. It's rural areas we might be barking up the wrong tree in urban areas here or in rural areas. But for you, also I must say, because you commented, AJ's not watching the chat because he doesn't do his job.
No, I'm putting him forward. No, I'm not actually.
Right. But what we'll do is we'll hook you up. We'll get you a seat in Parliament. That's not being Secretary of State, but you at least get to help form the parliamentary majority that we undoubtedly will require in order to literally do anything. Because with a minority, nobody is going to vote with us on anything.
We'll just create a bunch of new seats.
Or we intimidate and or murder the people who are preventing us.
Oh, you kind of think you could say that? I don't think we can say that on stream.
If they're the only ones getting in the way.
No, but I don't know that that's okay to mention on YouTube.
Well,
stream.
we're not okay. Fine, I take that. I retract my statement on that matter. But regardless, we're aiming for a majority. We're gonna get it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Maybe not this coming election.
I still want this stream to get demonetized because it's maybe our best.
It's gonna make us. It's gonna make us $8.
Yeah, I want $8, man.
Oh, we can give you a wait a minute. Whoa. Pump the brakes here, Charles. We don't do foreign policy as a provincial government here, unless you're talking foreign with like how do you deal with Alberta, right? Like Ontario.
How do you deal with Ray-Ann?
Yeah, how do you deal with Ray-Ann alone on his own? That's enough to handle for Alberta, but like. You know, the foreign policy for the provincial government is dealing with Mark Carney, and you know, so we can make you like an envoy, perhaps, an envoy to say, I don't know, St. John, New Brunswick, maybe.
This is so stupid.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
Well, I mean, we're gonna hook you up. Don't worry, we'll hook you up. Yeah, exactly. Your job title is gonna be man who deals with Alberta and makes the U.S. pay for it. That's exactly it. We got that. No, we're going deep in the Ontario politics here.
Balls to the wall.
Someone responded. My second act as advisor. This is your deputy speaking. My second act as advisor is to press Jamil Javani to show us his furniture transactions in the last 10 years. If you get that joke, you're a real one. That's hilarious. I'm not laughing, but it's very, very funny. If you don't know who Jamil Javani is, he's kind of like he's best friends with JD Vance, but he's more kind of like I don't know who he's very angry all the time about a lot of things. Maybe like Steve Bannon. He might be like the Canadian Steve Bannon, something like that.
That's what people who are angry about a lot of things at all times, I just consider to be old. Generally, that's usually what happens.
Like he's my age, and he kind of looks like, I don't know. He looks like a person who is not super happy, and it ages him. But I think he's around my age. Either way, interesting character in Ontario here. But the furniture transactions would be very interesting. And so pick me conservative. That's kind of the way to put it. But he's also a very angry one. Very in an unsettling way. Like you watch him talk, you're like, man, I wouldn't leave my kids in a room with you, man. Like, I don't know, like like you look like someone who would hit a child. Like you look like someone who would get angry.
Okay.
You listen to him talk.
It's got something about him.
Go listen to his interview on election night when Mark Carney became prime minister. He went off. Like he went crazy live on the news. Like it was nuts. I was like, this guy is he won an election. Like he won his election. And anyway, whatever. Let's move on. We did get a question about hockey, and then we'll close the show because my voice is tired. I would like to ask you a question. I'm hoping you know the answer. How much of a difference is there between NCAA conferences? I think it's pretty big. You're asking because of Wittenbach, which makes sense. Wittenbach plays for Quinnipiac, which I don't remember what... Yes, even Jason Kenney was like, what is he doing? And when you lose Jason Kenney, You know you've done a bad job. Even though Jason Kenney kind of set the stage for a guy like Jamil Giovanni, no problem. But yeah, Quinnipiac, what conference are they in? I forgot. I'm looking now. Someone's going to beat me to it in the chat. I can feel it. Quinnipiac is in the ECAC, right? So that's Ivy League. So yes, there is a pretty big, stark difference between at least like Ivy League, even CCHA, and Atlantic Hockey especially. Atlantic Hockey is definitely the worst of them all. ECAC, yeah. The NCHC, Hockey East, and the Big Ten are kind of the gold standard. But yeah, the ECAC, like, you're looking at Harvard and Dartmouth and Union College, like, you know, like the thing I would say if I'm a Calgary Flames person and you're really obsessed with Ethan Wittenbach, like, consider the potential that he's Josh Juris, right? Like, what if he's the next Greg Carey? And if you don't know who those guys are, they scored a ton in the ECAC for a while, and you know, Josh Juris was like a fourth liner in the NHL for a bit, but like certainly not the, you know, what was, you know, potentially there when he scored so much in college. Like the ECAC is definitely a step behind. Like if you're lighting up Yale and Clarkson and Harvard, you know, it just makes things a lot murkier. I forgot that's where Quinnipiac played, but they are the best team in that conference, and it's not particularly close. So, you know, that's neither here nor there. Well, I guess it is close, but you get my point. They're top of the division or top of the conference. Pretty good team. He's a good part of it. I'm not holding my breath. With that out of the way, that was wild. That was a real adventure. Thanks for joining us. That was fun. It was fun.
Magic
a little on
the, it was right.
This is what happens when I wear a hat for the show, I suppose. My head is very
I didn't even
sweaty.
know you were wearing a hat.
I'm wearing my Seahawks hat, man.
Right. You told me. You actually told me.
I did tell you, yes.
You did. Yeah.
I am a little sweaty under here.
This was wild. Do we want to have more streams like this? Is this the norm?
Completely
going
unscripted nonsense. I mean, it can evolve.
I feel like that's, but like we gotta have some fun, you know. Like at some point, who cares?
Fun
right?
is allowed on our show. Wow.
Oh wait, that goes against our principal rule.
No
no.
Allowed. Yeah, no fun allowed.
Never mind. I guess we can't ever do one of these again.
No, never gonna be. I mean, we did talk about hockey quite a bit this show. But I mean, it is a weird time of the year, especially with the Olympics going on. I do want to say before we go, I really would love to do hockey streams for the Olympics at least. It's just sandwiching them in with everything else going on is really, really tough. So it might be a last minute sort of plan thing. It might be a little later on in the tournament when there's a little more at stake. I mean, the Canada-Italy game might be one I might crack a drink or two for and just have some fun. We'll see.
When is that?
I don't know. But nevertheless, we're going to try. It'll be a lot of fun if we can do it. But yeah, it's just a really, really busy time right now with everything going on. So with that out of the way, thanks for joining us, AJ. Thank you again for coming. You're not here Thursday.
No, I have work.
It'll just be me. And when that happens, God only knows where we go from there. So thanks for joining.
I'm a sane person that keeps things on track.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really not.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Pacific time for those games is going to suck. I agree. I apologize for that, but that's why East is the best. East is the best time zone.
Eastern is the only time zone.
It is the best one by far.
Oh yeah.
There's no doubting it, you know. All the best things happen on Eastern Standard Time. It's true. It's just a fact. Toronto,
except for my shifts.
Toronto, the center of the universe. There it is. We got new light rail. It's great. Times are great in Toronto right now. Buy Toronto stonks if you haven't already.
No, they won't go up. I can promise you.
Well, I think we can call it. I think it's bedtime. Or EU4 time. I got to continue my Italy campaign. I got to continue.
Oh, your Venice campaign?
I got to keep taking bites out of Spain before I go to bed tonight. So, freaking Spanish.
I'm kind of curious. I think I might stick around with you then to see what you do. All right. I could yell at you for all your massive inefficiencies. AJ likes to ruin all my fun. He likes to watch.
But
we're not allowed to have fun.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not allowed to have fun. You just kind of Yeah, you keep a magnifying glass on everything that I do and go, hey, stop that.
Wrong.
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 Yeah, wrong.
Bad.
Wrong.
Terrible.
Wait, you did
Stupid.
this? Oh. Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
As long as I'm making ducats, and I'm making bank, man. I'm making ducats left, right, and center. So I think
Are you making as much money as I'm making it?
I don't care. I don't care. Let's just call it. This is getting crazy. Yeah. Have a lovely time between now and Thursday. With
love you all, except for those who don't love me.
Well, sure. Yeah, whatever you want to say. Whatever you say, buddy. You know, whatever you say. We'll see you Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We got video rooms coming out. We got game tapes coming out
for public and for subscribers tomorrow.
And it's coming up on report season in about a month and a bit. So stay tuned for that. Again, subscribers to Scouching.ca or YouTube members get access to our Discord server. You get early access to all these videos before they come out, and plenty of other cool stuff you can check out on the site or in the membership page below my head. Thanks very much. We'll see you Thursday. Toodles. Bye-bye.
Fire Barubi.